Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again. We're getting ready to start game number 2. I am Paladino, but a different face. Not necessarily a familiar one, an old familiar face.
Yeah.
My lovely friend. I love this man. It's Egg Sample. He's back on the desk. It's been over a year.
It's about damn time.
It is.
I am going to be a little bit rusty. I'm going to be honest. I have not casted League since probably the last time that we casted.
I think so.
It's good to get back in here, back in the seat, watching some great players go up against each other. We can see just how stacked this blue side team is. We were talking about it a little bit ahead of time. There's some really high-ranked players in this game, and a lot of them are on the blue team.
They certainly are. I can tell you that Arrogant is once again on red side. We've got our first rotation of bans coming in. Fiora, Jarvan taken off the board initially, as well as the Zeri and the Jinx. So you talked about the blue side being a little bit stacked. Of course, you all know Ryan R10 if you watched game number 1. And of course, if you've seen any Mizzou Esports League of Legends stream, you've got Dora Carey in the mid lane. But Wing Neostar 15 is someone who you guys might know as Ghost Toasties. That's Blake on a different account. So certainly a strong lineup to start out, but red side's got their fair share of players as well. But I'm looking forward to it. We got our first rotation of bans coming out, and I mean the top lane is always going to be a focus because it's Ryan and Nick, but we'll have to see how things play out.
Yeah, you know, Clash of the Titans, Ryan and Nick, it is the debate raging within Mizzou Esports right now. It's obviously we saw it go in Nick's favor in the early game, last game. That was pretty brutal. The Nidalee B1, that is very bold.
The
and
Nick
Nick's back on the Riven. That's a throwback. Nick used to be Riven one trick at least a few seasons ago. B1 Nidalee. We love to see it. I like to see it. Shit.
I like B1 Nidalee. I'm excited to see it. I'm not at all surprised to see Nick's Riven. It was banned away last game. There is the Draven locked in for red side. I don't know who the Urdur carry is. We'll have to find out later. There is. So we've got the true Clash of the Titans. Yeah. This is their two pocket picks. We got Nick on Riven
for sure,
and Ryan on Urgot. We'll have to see who the next one locked in is in the mid lane. I'm hoping for some sort of CC in the mid lane out of Jay with the Nidalee. But with AP jungle, you could potentially go AD mid instead of opting for the Vex.
Okay, that just means you need, well, obviously you're going to be investing in Blake. You also have Korean Client in the bot lane. That's a pretty strong bot lane. You can really lean into a heavy AD hyper carry and be in a good spot. You have 2 strong sources of AP. You have Ryan on basically his one trick. There's plenty of damage to go around. They are picking the Fiddlesticks here. They thought about picking it there. Other than Draven, still up, so that is the pick for red side. Yeah,
interesting pick, the Fiddlesticks. It is pretty strong, always been pretty strong in solo queue. Don't see it in competitive very often. The only thing I don't love about blue side is you have someone as strong. I mean, it kind of goes both ways. You have someone as strong as Blake who can play a ton of different things, but by dropping him to second rotation, you get even more taken off the board. We've already seen him really pop off on the Jinx, on Zeri, on Ezreal, but now they're all taken off. You can almost guarantee it'll be a 5th or a 4th AD carry ban here with this last one. It'll be the Varus taken off the board, so it certainly narrows the champion pool. But
well, I mean, it is AD carry to a point. You know, the champion, you auto attack, they do the damage, and there's still some nice hyper carry options. Some that I know Blake has practiced in the past, so we'll see what he opts for here. Still a support pick at the same time, so we'll see what kind of bot lane they want to put together here.
My prediction is Tristana for Blake. That's Tristana? I'm locking it in.
That's a pretty high pick too. Is that good against? Oh, they're taking the Tristana
mid.
Taking the Tristana from mid. The Cho'Gath Senna.
Cho'Gath Senna. This is the premier roster special. We've seen it in Korea as well recently. Certainly, you know, when you think of Blake, you think of those pop-up performances or things like that. But no, it'll be the Cho'Gath Senna for him and Sean.
They have practiced this a lot. I know that Mr. Ethos is not a huge fan of playing Senna. He's more of those tanky engaged champions. But they have played this pick a fair amount, and I know that. Well, I mean, this is an Ethos, so the Cho'Gath coming out here for Blake.
So at the moment, the Nidalee is in the hands of Dora Carey. I think that means that it'll be Jay jungle, not mid lane, which is interesting for sure. Not something I don't think I've ever seen, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, I don't think they're in correct order. This was the champ that Status Joe played in game number 1.
That's kind of hype.
Was the Vex, yeah. So you get to see Jay on the Nidalee. Some interesting picks for sure. You have Urgot, Nidalee, Vex, Cho'Gath, Senna on blue side. An interesting culmination of champs. And on red side, we've got the Riven, Fiddlesticks, Tristana mid, Draven, and Nami. I mean, what are your thoughts looking at both these teams' drafts?
You know, a lot of this, you could you could say that half of this looks like ARAM champions. Just kind of roll. We're like, oh, Cho'Gath, he can go down there. We got the Nidalee, the Vexar switch, but at first it kind of looks like, okay, we're going to play Vex jungle. We got Tristana mid, all great. But we got some strong picks here. Obviously, some power players on some power picks. The Urgot Riven, of course, in the top lane. Ryan looking to avenge his poor performance in the early game last game. I'd be blunt with it, but, he did start 0-4, I think.
He did.
But he recovered. He recovered very well. That's true. I'm really interested to see what Jay will do on the Nidalee in the jungle. You know that Nidalee is my favorite champion, despite having 1.6 million on a different champion. We don't talk about that. But I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm not a huge fan of Blue Side's team composition, just because we were talking about how you could get Blake on one of those heavy AD damage, 80 carries, and then you see him on the Cho'Gath. And you do have a Senna who eventually will do that kind of damage, but you really are, let's say what happens in the top lane happens again and Nick wins top, then you're really without 80 damage for like a consistent part of the game.
For a while, yeah. I think one of the things about Senna, they don't really have consistent damage up until like 25 minutes. Senna gets souls pretty slowly now in comparison to a couple months past, and if you don't really snowball your lane, it's difficult, and you're kind of reliant on coin flipping, and especially it's hard to snowball into something like a Draven Nami. Obviously, with a Nami, you're expecting something more like a Lucian, but Draven can play just as aggressive. I think the benefit is that they don't really, Red Side doesn't really have jungle pressure pre-6 just because of Fiddlesticks. You can try, but it's a lot harder. But once you hit 6, it's even easier to pressure any of these lanes, and I imagine we'll see that all across the Rift as well. The mid lane matchup is certainly interesting. Tristana mid's been popping up more and more recently, but
I think that's Graham.
Is it Graham playing mid lane?
So
I wasn't sure who was playing mid lane.
Graham said that he was playing mid lane before he left here. He may have swapped to support, but as he left here, he said he did have to play mid.
Interesting.
I've never seen him play Tristana, but Graham, a super talented player and a super talented caster.
Exactly, it's true. He's a talented guy overall. Super talented coach too.
Super talented coach.
He can do it all.
You can do it all.
But you talked about not loving the Blue Side draft. I'm not a huge fan either. Are you predicting Red Side? Well, I mean, keep in mind the Blue Side draft not fantastic, but I think rank wise they probably win out. So
you still predict Blue to win. You have a bunch of snowbally champions that can go out of control. You get enough kills on a Nidalee and a pop off player like Jay who can get a bunch of kills on a super mechanical champion. I still think, even though we'll see some strong performances from Red Side, I still would pick Blue Side in this one, just based on the skill level of the players.
I would say so as well. I do think it is important to note, though, if top lane goes even or Nick gets ahead, it's really easy to itemize. There is a lot of AP damage on the side of Blue Side. You have AP mid, AP jungle, AP AD carry. It's very, very easy for the Riven to build something like a Spirit Visage, build something like a Malmortius, and then it becomes very, very difficult to kill Nick on the Riven, which already is innately anyways. But that is the end of our draft. We'll be getting on to Summoner's Rift very, very soon. I think I would probably agree. I think Blue Side has certainly some exciting things to see.
It's going to be a great game.
Of course, it'll be fantastic. And I don't fully remember who all is on Red Side. I know it's Nick and Graham, but we'll have to wait and see who the other 3 members of that roster are as we head on to Summoner's Rift. I'm just excited to be here with you.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
It's been a while. I think it's literally been a year.
At least, yeah.
It's been at least a year. There might be some. We'll see if we can get into game here. The producer side of me is a little worried, but we'll see what they got.
We're good to go.
Nice.
And
cool.
We are in. So it is Red Side. It is Graham on the Tristana. So that was one thing I was going to mention in draft that I did not say, is that is Anzel on the Draven. He is a Draven one trick. So not at all surprised to see that one picked
Debbie
in.
McNugget
and Debbie McNugget on
the Fiddlesticks.
And it'll be an invade coming in here very early on from the Blue Side. Dora Carey leading the charge here on this Nidalee, but they're not going to find anyone because the opposite side has led to an invade of their own. But now Demonic could be spotted out here. The spear will land, but they don't have any way to follow up with any more damage. No first strike gold for the Fiddlesticks, as well. Graham has now made his way up here and runs into quite a few members, but he's got the safety of his tower to run back to.
Yeah, Debbie McNugget with the tactical usage of the Nidalee's mana there. You take the spear to get the Nidalee to keep going, throw a second spear, and down mana, but pretty neutral start. neither will be too affected. Nick being extremely aggressive here, I imagine he's really confident after a strong early performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's running it back. Another very technical champion, one that I think he's probably even more comfortable on. The Riven, running that Ignite as well, and going to trade very aggressively. I think they know that Ryan started the E because Graham saw him use it in the mid lane, but just some aggressive trading here. It is still ranged into melee matchup here in the top lane. A nice stun coming out as Ryan gets a pretty good trade on to the Riven. Press the attack, doing quite a bit of work there as well.
Yeah, looks like we might see some kind of similar pathing here from the junglers, just going bot side up. The priority in this top lane, we see it swing back and forth so heavily. We saw Nick get a bunch of kills to start the previous game and then swing back in Ryan's direction. I think if he had there was a shutdown on Nick, which I think was a clean 1k gold that ended up going to Debbie McNugget. It was our only kill on that Ashe in the previous game. I think if that had gone to the Darius, maybe things may have changed in the middle of that game. But it's a new game. It's a new 2 fighter champions to duke it out, and the jungler is going to prioritize picking the winner in that lane.
Absolutely. We'll have to see how things go. Certainly not as volatile in the top lane, at least yet. We'll have to see how things change so far. But so far, blue side has the push in the bot lane at the very least. And Torquary going for the invade. And this is the negative of Fiddlesticks is... he got him with the W. So it does get some first strike procs off, but a nice electrocute proc means that Devin McNugget is starting to lose this trade, but gets a lot of health back. Jay flashing over to make sure that he can stay on the correct side of the blast planet. It's a first blood for Torquary as he heads into the enemy base. I think he's looking for the execute.
He's going on a magical journey. You
don't want to give that kill to Nick. Don't give it to Nick.
You don't want to give that kill to anybody.
Nick flash igniting.
Okay.
Nick flash ignites to secure the kill. He's going to miss a lot for it, but does get 300 gold in response. You can see Devin McNugget tried to steal it with the Fiddlesticks E as well, but couldn't grab it. But that is a kill going over to Nick's Riven. Certainly concerning, but he does miss a ton of XP for it.
Yeah, honestly, a pretty Chad move by Jay. The level 3 Nidalee invade, she is one of the fastest clearers in the game, at least historically. It is something you have the option to do. Debbie McNugget doesn't have Vision of the Bush, but thankfully, Fiddlesticks W8, free vision. It's a nice little surprise to reveal the Nidalee in the bush. Not able to get away. She does get the red buff, so it doesn't put her as far down, at least XP-wise. Jay is behind some camps, but does get that kill gold, and he did buy that ruby crystal, so we know how powerful that is on the Nidalee early recalls. He's got the amp tome as well.
Yeah, he does pick up some damage, but also grabbing that ruby crystal for himself.
Of course. What else would you buy?
It's a strong buy, yeah. Level 3 ruby crystal is really, really strong for sure. But all across the Rift, we're seeing action mostly in the top side here for now from that invade and just farming across the bot lane. Nothing too aggressive here. I guess Blake, he is on a different account. He's deciding to, no skin on the Cho'Gath.
Brain smurfing right now.
He is, absolutely.
Got to trick himself that he's somebody else.
We see now the Sean on the Senna just continuing to apply as much pressure as he can. He really needs to try and farm souls. It's difficult into a double range matchup as opposed to having another melee character that you could just farm souls off of. But Graham has made his way into the bot side, flashing into the Senna vision. The Ignite does enough. Graham using both summoners and a nicely timed roam to secure himself a kill here for red side. Nice work from the Tristana.
I'm telling you, that is the best Mizzou League of Legends head coach of the fall spring semesters. I can't think of anybody that could compete with Graham in terms of raw skill, talent, clutch factor. He's got it all.
It's true. I mean, he clearly has it all, and I don't think it's even close for who could be better all time.
I can't think of anyone else.
The University of Missouri Premier League of Legends roster. Just continuing to farm here in the bot side. The Draven still yet to base. Needs to get that gold on map. You can see already coming out from Graham, from Blake. He does have TP, so he expended that to grab that lost chapter and make his way back to the bot lane to not miss too much. Dorcarry now invading once again. The spear goes a bit wide, but the root lands onto the Fiddlesticks, and this is a no-flash jungler. Nice fear. Might keep him away and dodges out on the bomb as well. But now Graham looking for another one, trading very heavily onto Status Joe. Forces the flash out of The Vex cannot flash to follow, but gets the Summoner spell out of status Joe.
Graham is so productive with just a longsword and a single health pot left in his inventory. Doesn't want to get caught here by Dora Carry 1. He probably does have access to that jump soon. Oh,
no flash on the Tristana. He does have ult as well to potentially knock Dora Carry away if he so chooses. He does get that one to keep him out of harm's way, and has a blast cone as well, so he will survive by walking all the way up to the tier 2, but Jay is still following.
Yeah, I feel like if Debbie McNugget had gone and looped underneath Dora Carry there, then maybe you can get something cheeky, but looks like Graham just barely survived with no health and no mana, so probably just didn't want to risk it. We see some pings coming out there on the Mountain Drake. Could be something to prioritize here for red side. You want to get it when you're against players who you know outrank you. You want to get these early advantages when you can, when they don't have the gold and the farm numbers to just immediately outdamage you on everything. So I think it's really smart to go for early objectives and secure when you have definite vision. We know that Jay's topside, and so I think that's a pretty good call to lock up the Mountain Drake here early for the red side.
Yeah, absolutely. Grab any early advantage that you can. If you can set yourself up with some other factors to win other than just purely outplaying them, it makes the game a lot easier. And especially something like a Mountain Drake really helps out. Some initial resistances early on are not something anyone is going to complain about. But we can see a big wave crashing into the bot side. I thought we might see a gank coming out, but only level 5 for this Fiddlesticks makes it a lot more difficult. Both junglers still waiting to hit that level 6 mark. Well, it's achieved across the solo lanes, and at least one 80 carry hitting it now as well, still waiting for level 6 on the Draven. I will say, if you're red side, I think knowing that it's Onzel on the Draven, you really need to play on getting him a cash out. If Draven dies and does not cash out, the game is going to be very, very, very hard. You have to put that as a main focus.
Yeah, for sure. I would like to ask our Mr. Andrew Observer here if you could click on the Draven so we could see just how many stacks of Adoration he currently has. Isn't that shows as a passive? You could see it. Yeah, he's got 169 at the moment, so you really want to get that money, especially on somebody who's a Draven one trick. You know, you want to maximize the gold income on players like that. We had Nick secure his early gold income with that flash ignite to finish off Jay. So you want to get your one trick kills. As a one trick myself, you know, you get me kills, I get the wins.
It's true. You got to get the one tricks, the income that they need. At a bit of a CS deficit here in the bot lane, however, just getting forced off of things. But you can see now KR Client working to potentially go for something in the top side. He heals his top laner, gets one with the Q as well. They're going to keep looking for more as the W will land on Arrogant, predicts away on the dash. Ryan using that fear beyond death, but it's going to time out. I think it will not. They grab the kill. A nice timed roam from KR Client secures the kill into the top lane. Ryan R10 had a tough time in game number 1 in this lane, but looking a lot nicer for him now as he grabs his first kill.
Yeah, I think it was a great flash by Ryan there. You know, Nick seemed like he could have had him if he landed that third Q, was able to get his ult off, but thankfully the nice roam there by Sean and the flash is enough to stall things out and push the advantage towards 2 champions instead of 1 champion.
Yeah, absolutely. Good timing as well. Don't see those things incredibly often. I think knowing that you have a Cho'Gath, but there goes the Growstorm on to status Joe, and Toriko Graham going to pick up that one. The first use of that Fiddlesticks ulti securing a kill feels very, very nice. Dora Carry does have a Rift Herald and lands the spear as well, going in now on to Debbie McNugget. Has the point-and-click fear, however, to potentially keep him alive for longer. That spear goes just a bit wide, meaning that one is all but over. Blake using his ulti to just grab up a minion. Now Dora Carry potentially in some trouble here. Walks on a pink ward, and he has tier 1 boots, but there's lots of mobility on the opposite side. Ryan R10 could potentially meet him in the river, but it feels quite difficult. Dora Carry just going to walk through lane instead, fakes him out. Where's he going to go? Back that way. There comes the early ults from the Senna to try and keep him alive. Dora Carry still kicking for now, but he fails the jump, forced to flash, but Graham has the jump as well, flashing forward, drops the ignite, but does not have the bomb, has the ulti. I don't know if the ignite is enough. It's not. Another spear will land. There goes the Shadow Surge on Debbie McNugget. Has the Zanyas. They need this kill to secure the reset. Ignite has gone down. They got that one. I don't know if it timed out. I think the Vex ult timed out, so cannot go for more, but all in all, it ends up being a kill for Team Ryan and Status Joe.
Yeah, we got some mild clown activity going on in the game. We had Jay fail his initial jump, have to flash. We had both Debbie and Graham flash after. Graham with the heroic Tristana ult to push Jay to safety with just a little bit of health left. And then the Vex engage ended up finishing off Debbie McNugget. So
he would have had enough damage if Jay didn't buy that Ruby Crystal.
It's true. Hey, I mean, you gotta buy Dark Steel. You gotta consider it, guys. Exactly. It is an item in the shop. You can buy it. Buy an Amp Tome. Buy something.
Buy now. Buy now.
It's all about the economy. And speaking of the economy, you gotta love that segue. We're looking at a 3-3 game, but a 3.5k gold lead in favor of the blue team. This is what happens when you have higher ranked players on your team. Oh, Debbie does not care about my analysis.
Yeah, looking in on KR Client, picks up one, absolutely one-shots.
Well played.
The Senna. That's the benefit. I mean, actually the Senna did have flash. Couldn't even use it, just blowing up that support. Nice kill, gets a good angle, and doesn't fall for it either. Pretty good for Red Side.
Oh, he really wants those stacks of adoration now.
This Draven going to have quite a bit, but you can see Dora Carey potentially looking for some. Has the Proto Belt and grabs that one. Looking for more. Big shutdown as the Draven will cash out, but Dora Carey will get 2 for himself. Maybe potentially looking for more, but this is still a Draven. But Ryan R10 heroically steps into the bot lane and grabs that kill for himself. He's going to keep looking for more. This Nami has both sums, but there's no use in using them. Dora Carey going to secure that one. I talked about this with Graham in game number 1. In my eyes, that's the Ryan special. He just happens. Totally. He's bot lane as the top laner at 13 minutes, and now he misses nothing by teleporting the wave.
I think I've grown a bit cynical in my time on the B team for the Mizzou League of Legends Club. I didn't know top laners could leave top lane earlier than, 30 minutes,
earlier
35
than before
minutes?
One of the Nexus
ever?
explodes.
Yeah, before the Nexus blows up. Well played there by Ryan, always known for being all across the map, making proactive plays with his team, and obviously was needed there to bail out his jungler and turn it into a positive play for the blue team.
Yeah, looking really, really good. Got one for himself. I will say the Draven did at least cash out before falling, so does have that finished Essence Reaver now.
Yeah, great flash to make sure the ult hit it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the big reason for this massive gold lead is, they have the kill advantage here now, and of course Jay has gotten quite a few in the last couple of minutes, but the CS lead across all lanes is really, really impactful as KR Client trying to support his jungler here, looking for something onto Debbie McNugget. Will get rooted up. A nice bubble. Knocks up on to 1. There goes the Shadow Surge. They're going to look for Graham first, and they will find him. But there goes the Crow Storm looking for more. Debbie McNugget cannot survive through it. It's a double kill for Dora Carey. Then to keep looking for more. Draven has picked up 1. He's picked up 2. Looking for more on his Status Joe, but the Shadow Surge might just be enough, and it will be. It's a double kill for the Senna for the time being, and 1 going in response. And all for all, it is a 4-4-2 in favor of the blue side. The Draven tries to make things even out, but just cannot find enough.
Yeah, I can't help but notice we have a number of summoner spells still up on the red side, which I think may have turned that fight around. If you're able to get that 3rd kill on the Vex, on the Draven picking up that 3rd kill, maybe you're able to get the 4th. It is just the Senna who doesn't have a completed item yet. Maybe you're able to do it, and that might turn things around, but unfortunately, Graham went in a little bit too deep, a little bit too early, and was blown up before he was able to do anything. In addition, Debbie McNugget not having access to that stopwatch. You don't have the finished item yet. Instead, you just have a nice collection of different items.
Build.
We got the IKEA build. Yeah.
You got tier 2 boots, and you have the Hextech alternator, and then you've got the blasting wand and a stopwatch and the book as well.
Yeah,
and still waiting to finish off.
Don't forget the instruction book. You'll never know how to put these things together.
Yeah, we're still waiting to finish off with the jungle item as well. It is unfortunate, no mythic item to Dora Carey, who has 2. He's got the rocket belt as well as that. I'm forgetting the name. Shadow Flame. As the secondary one.
Yeah, that item that's supposed to deal with shields. Yeah, that's definitely what it definitely serves its intended purpose. But
Ryan just going to continue farming here. He knows that Nick has no ult, has no ignite. He just used it a couple seconds ago, and he is A-okay. He does not have teleport, so it would be hard to make it back in time and not miss nothing. But Senna could potentially be in trouble here. The Shadow Surge going down onto the Riven. It might just blow him up right away. Flashes away from Ryan R10's ultimate. Flash forward from Status Joe. Won't find the kill, but the auto attack will, as the Vex grabs their 2nd of the game. And now they're just going to look for more. Devin McNugget forced to flash right away, but the spear will land and one shot. Dora Carey picking up that one there as they dive the tier 1. Nice stopwatch, but a good buffer from Graham looking for more. Has the ulti as well. Knockup comes down, but I think that Blake does not have Feast, but he's trying to find the damage. He gets Goomba stomped by Graham. He does get one in response, however. So it is, all in all, just a 1-for-1. But, I mean, if you're red side at this point, you can kind of feel the game falling between your fingers. So they've got to try and get anything they can. And they do get one, at least.
Yeah, it's a challenge because you have to find some footing here. And you thought maybe you could get that early footing with Nick. He did pick up that early kill on Jay, but Ryan countered it by roaming all the way around the map like Ryan does and establishing a little bit for himself. So you can't have Nick. Debbie has been bullied since level 3. Can't have that. Graham on the Tristana, not a champion he plays frequently. He's made some good plays. He's also been a little bit too overzealous and jumping in a little bit further than he probably should. But it's really these 2 AD carries that are the beating heart of your team. And if you can get one of them to pop off, get a couple kills in this next team fight, maybe things turn around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you can get enough gold on the Draven or the Tristana, really, it could potentially change the tides of this one. But it does feel pretty bad just because those farm deficits are so big.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Blake is up 40 CS on the Draven. He is down gold just because the nature of who Draven is as a character, but you can see in the mid lane up gold almost solely because of that farm, up about 30, up about 14, 15 in the top lane as well, and a good size lead in the jungle. Lots of gold just coming from farming creeps, and of course the kills help as well. And now you can see Blake looking for more on to Graham. Doesn't even have the feast and does not need it. It's just a pure solo kill for the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, those menacing 1 in 3 Cho'Gaths. You never know, and they'll have more gold than a couple other members on your team, and kill you in one hit with no ult. But that's the life of an AD carry, I guess.
I believe that's a 1K for the Riven. They're going to keep on looking, flashing forward, looking for Status Joe. It's a big shot down over to the Draven. Anzel tries to find some more damage, but cannot find what he's looking for. Might kill him with the last auto, and he does get it. The last one falling. The Whirling Death does a bit of damage. Senna taunting Anzel just a bit here on this Draven, but not going to find anything else. The root comes down, securing that he will live, but Graham could potentially chase here. The sweeper going down. Graham has the jump in, flash away.
Okay.
Fall.
Never mind.
Forced to flash away. A nice deep ward is flash forward from Jay.
My God.
Securing that one. Dora Carey, Nidalee, 10 kills, flashing forward, securing the instant double. A beautiful flank TP.
Look at that gold lead in the jungle.
The gold lead.
Gross.
He is up almost 5,000.
4.6K.
Yeah,
you know, that's
very, very fed.
That's like college tuition.
Debbie McNugget has finished the item, thankfully, but down almost a full 2 items here to Dora Carey, as he'll have that second one up next. Arrogant staying alive for the moment, but that moment will pass as Status Joe claims that one.
Yeah, it's almost unplayable now if you're on the red side. You had a couple 80 carries who could have given you hope. Now you're facing the reality of being an 80 carry against fed champions like Nidalee, a Cho'Gath who could just walk up and one-shot you. They're trying to get this kill on Ryan. He doesn't have a shutdown, but it would still be a good pick.
This Draven does quite a bit of damage, and Ryan R10 should just be caught out. Won't get one in response. It'll be Graham to claim the kill, but I fear blue side might just claim the Baron Nashor for themselves instead. And you see the Whirling Death comes down to know that they're on it, but no one is even close to that side of the rift. This one will easily go over to the side of the blue team. They don't use the feast stack on it, do a bit of trolling. That one's claimed by Jay instead. But
he wants to save it for Graham.
When he kills Graham again.
Got a yummy Tristana. Well, eat the Baron, you can just eat the Tristana.
That's true. He's got 8 stacks.
Hey, wouldn't be a league game if we didn't have a game pause. Probably due to our network issues we're having every half hour. So
it happens to the best of us. I think the Mizzou esports facility has decided to do their best LEC impression.
Yeah. We might be here for a while if it's the best LEC impression.
True.
We'll have a 4-hour pause. We'll just we'll talk about random crap. We'll do our best Joey Olberding impression during the Rocket League cast. And he's out there talking about New York City, Tokyo during a Rocket League game. Shout out to Joey.
We could do, I don't know. I don't think the pause will be very long. Otherwise, we could do the LEC games. The guess what player I am. But I don't think we have enough time. It would be fun, though.
I don't think I know enough about LEC either.
Well,
NA all the way.
LEC players. We could do NA players.
NA players? Do I even know any NA players? I might. I'm kind of a boomer now, which feels weird because I don't feel like I'm a league boomer. You're like a league infant.
I get. Well, I mean, in the grand scheme,
still got his training wheels on.
Well, I don't know. That's technically true.
You don't get your training wheels on until you play some damn solo queue.
Well, that's true. I do need to play solo queue, but it's fine. We'll get it figured out eventually. Still in the pause for just a moment, but looking back at the game, things look pretty tough for the red side. I mean, we kind of anticipated that it might go this way just because of the way these teams panned out. But what can red side do to bring themselves back to the chance of victory?
I think you have to rely on massive AoE combos from some of your best players. Nick has to find a way to be effective. Here we are with the follow-up pause. I remember this one just last game dealing with it. Maybe
if you get a big Fiddlesticks ult on a 4 or 5 with Riven on top of it, it could potentially help out.
I don't even think it can go to the Tristana at this point. I'm going to be honest. Just based on the amount of gold that we see that the Draven has, he's significantly ahead of the Trist. At this point, it's better to have one extremely fed champion that's competitive and could potentially solo carry the game than trying to balance it between two. You try to balance it between two, you don't really get either benefit that you're looking for.
For sure. Red side will grab a objective bounty with that top tier 1. Arrogant going to get his recall canceled and drops the ignite on a Ryan R10, looking for the 1v1. Ooh. Flash away. The Fearbound Death not going to land. Both these sides very low. And at first it looked like it might be close, but that's 2 item Urgot to... At the time, it was just 1 item. Nick did just finish that Eclipse, but cannot find the kill. And that's why Ryan's an Urgot player. This guy makes it work when he gets the chance. Now, you can see the bot lane will not land the root, however, on to Onsol. Now, hear me out. They changed the way that Draven passive worked a long time ago with the interaction with the ultimate.
Where it
was like a year ago.
Okay.
Well, first, Devin McNugget will fall. Status Joe going to claim the kill. The Shadow Surge going to land on the Nami as well, but it'd be a little greedy to take that one in. But they're going to go for it regardless. Adora Carey going to claim that kill. Blake will tank the turret. Well, I was going to say you could just sit back and farm and let Draven get to 1,000 stacks, and then his ult would be a 1k HP
just sit back and farm, man.
Yeah,
his ult would farm anyway.
Oh my gosh, Graham does not care. Graham going in, looking for some damage, but wow, that was a fully charged Tristana bomb and did almost no damage. Unfortunate for them. 1 inhibitor turret falls, another to fall as well. This inhib will also come down with it. I think they'll probably change their focus to this mid inhibitor turret as well. There goes that one. The Everfrost will not land, however, but so much damage. There goes the Crowstorm. Dora Carey's already picked up Arrogance Riven, looking for more. Knockup will go down onto just the Nami, but that's a 100-0 as Blake picks up that kill. Will fall in response to Onzul's Draven, but that is, I believe, a triple inhib or soon to be it here at the 24-minute mark.
Yikes.
They still have Baron buff as well. Ryan continuing to knock on the door of this inhib, and we'll see if they want to go for the end. They do have some low health bars.
We need a super play here. This is how you extend the game of the red team. You need your super players to make super plays.
It's true, but it's hard to make a super play when you eat spears like that. Devin McNugget taken almost found fully, and now Onzo will fall as well. The Shadow Surge with the option to be taken, and it will go in on to Graham. Dora Carey goes unstoppable. They are starting to throw a little bit. Lots of the damage members are gone. Dora Carey's still alive. That spear will land, but
2 shutdowns here. If
It
you're able to
is
get, if you're
difficult
able
to
get
find. Yeah, there is 900 gold on to Dora Carey. They should find this one. It's going to go over to Graham. This is a TP from Blake. He gets
What a
the one
Chad.
shot onto the Nami. He's looking for more as well. Has a nice Everfrost to keep himself alive, at least for the moment. But Arrogant now
no
suddenly
XPK, unfortunately.
on a killing spree. Certainly one of the teleports of all time coming out from Blake. And they do have an open nexus with triple inhib, so this one is going to be hard to win. But technically speaking, we are still in game.
Yeah, Blake obviously going with the Alex is playing ARAM strategy of wait around until somebody's low on health and do whatever you can to kill that one person, regardless of the consequences. So
Exactly.
I respect it. You know, he got the kill on the Nami. She is probably worth maybe 5 or 6 gold total. That's good. He can reinvest that back into the stock market. I don't know what shares he's investing in here, but clearly Blake has an economic plan in mind.
Absolutely.
And it's got to be worth.
Yeah, double supers every single wave with an open nexus. Is,
They have the wave clear. I mean, you have the double 80 carry.
They definitely have the wave clear for it. I mean, Fiddlesticks wave clear is pretty good as well. Riven wave clear is really nice.
Problem is you have to be alive to wave clear.
Yeah, that's the issue. Is I mean, at this point, if a spear hits one of any of them, they will
it's
probably
disgusting.
die.
He finally
100
did
to
buy
0.
that Dark Steel, although it is in the form of Medjai's Soul Stealer. Did not go for my personal pick of an item when you're super fed on Nidalee, which would be the Lich Bane. Just makes things easier to secure. You lead with the Q instead of doing the EQ so that you can get that immediate damage off after you jump. But still some very powerful items. I also wouldn't have opted for... See, the thing about when you're fed on Nidalee, you don't have to buy Zonya's Hourglass because they zone your Hourglass for you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to buy it because they do it just for you
Exactly.
if you do that much damage.
That's
So
true.
still a defensive option and definitely safe. Trying to preserve his KD. Didn't work with that last death, but... I don't think it's really going to matter here. They have the open nexus. This is the last stand.
The final stand, and immediately the Draven's taken down. The Nami should fall as well. Will not go down yet, however. Bubble lands on to 2. Arrogant now trying to go for the montage play. There goes the Crowstorm. Well, it looked cool for 1 second. Senna's being cringe, hitting the Nexus. They're going for more now. Arrogant trying to find the damage, but he gets absolutely one shot as the Nexus will inevitably fall. 3 members fall in the process. This one much faster than game number 1. I'm looking over at our good friend Graham.
Peeking through the window.
Here, peeking through the window. It looked good at first, but he had a bit
got a
of
big
a rough
smile
one.
on his face. I
Yeah,
think he had fun.
He had a good time. It's all about having fun with friends on the
Yeah.
Rift. It was a good time. That
Mizzou
is all.
Gamer Gauntlet.
Exactly.
Where you have fun.
It's true. That is all for game number 2. It was a blast. It was good to cast with you again. I had a
for
lot
sure.
of fun. It was a nice time. But that's all for game number 2. We got another one coming up here very, very soon. We're going to a quick break. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to the Mizzou Esports Twitch stream. We are here with the Gamer Gauntlet League of Legends edition, I guess is the right way to put it.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is the preparation for game number 3. I am Paladino. Of course, I've been here with you all day, but Graham was with us for game number 1. He's back for game number 3. Happy to have you here once again. You were playing last game.
Yeah, I got drafted out of nowhere to come fill in up spots, so that was fun.
You did, yeah. Didn't quite go your favor. Had some shining moments, but maybe not the way you wanted.
We won't talk about that one too much.
We don't have to talk about it. But we are in draft for game number 3 here ahead of us. So it'll be Anivia and Syndra taken off the board first by the blue side. We've got some new faces here in this one for sure. Should be exciting. And then on red side, it'll be the Amumu takeaway first off. We'll see what that next ban will be as well.
Some interesting bans. Not quite sure what everybody plays on these teams, so maybe they're targeting, a certain specific player on the enemy team. Maybe it's just something they really don't want to play against, but a lot of focus on that mid lane champion pool right now.
Absolutely, yeah. It is like you said, Anivia Syndra taken off the board, at least in the way things were ordered. It was someone who is not a mid laner at the mid lane spot. We'll have to see if that's the case here on red side. There is one glaring champion not banned.
I'm seeing it as well. Wow.
Interesting takeaway. So, for those who don't know, because it just says enemy 1 through 5 on red side, our own Mizzou Esports former manager for the Premier team, B team top laner with me, Sam Thomas, Goliath, the Garen one trick, is on the red side. So I guess they are blue side, so maybe they take.
Are they gonna take Garen away?
It's either they take the Garen or it was a handshake deal like you guys had in game 2.
Yeah,
which is possible, but I don't. He literally can't play anything else.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know what he did to get Garen through the phase, but he did something, and
he paid somebody off.
Yeah, I'm expecting a Garen insta lock for the enemy one on that red side, but I'm thinking for the Maokai, most likely jungle. Very meta, very strong jungler right now, so a lot of options that can go in the comp. That's Onzel's Draven for sure, isn't it?
It's back again. Yes, Onzel's Draven is once again back with us. It looked had some good moments in game number 2. Certainly had a difficult lane. Boy, am I surprised.
Yeah, there we go.
On R2.
Actually, could have told you how that one was going to go once we saw the team lineups, but got some strong comfort picks over there on red side. Looking good for the draft so far. Let's see where blue decides to go.
Yeah, certainly interesting. I know, I imagine that, like you said, that Maokai is going to be in the hands of Andrew. Maokai not particularly the hardest to pilot, but it's one that I've seen him play pretty well on multiple occasions. I'm interested to see what the counterpick will be into Garen. It could be this Gragas into the top lane.
Yeah, blue holding on to a lot of flex picks here. Maokai still playable in that support position. Also seeing just a little bit of attention in top lane right now. Gragas can kind of play him everywhere right now. It feels very strong. And then picking up Jhin for that AD carry role. So not really showing the cards blue side. Playing a little hidden. Yeah,
this is what I expected. So one thing that all of Sam Thomas's friends will know is that this guy will not stop talking about how bad the Garen into Camille matchup is. And I know it's bad. It is horrible.
Yeah.
Hey, there he is. You can see him on stream. There's our good buddy Sam
they
Thomas.
zoomed in on him.
I love that guy. He's such a sweetheart. But there he is, and I can tell you from first-hand experience, he has told me on multiple occasions that Garen into Camille is completely unplayable. He bans Camille every game. But he's got to play it here in his first game of the Gamer Gauntlet, so we'll see how he's able to fare in this one. It'll be the Warwick picked up for red side as well. So lots of definitely what looks like comfort picks.
Yeah, definitely some signature, maybe comfort picks. That Warwick could be a flex pick. Some people play it top with barrier. I'm kind of severely doubting that, but maybe, who knows, counter pick. But going into that second ban phase, red side's definitely looking to try to close down the AD carry pool. Maybe some stuff that has a long range, probably like a Jinx ban to top off with that Caitlyn ban. Over here on blue side, you got some options where you want to ban. You can ban support, try to maybe turn down some of that scaling, get rid of some of those good engaged supports with Draven to maybe force an enchanter, or You got a lot of options. Like I said,
yeah,
there's
you have
the
options. I do think I would like something like a Nautilus ban.
Yeah.
Leona not seen as often, but I think Nautilus taking off the board would be good. There is also always potential for Sam to take the Garen mid, so you could potentially ban out a top laner if you wanted. I'm not sure. I know, like I said, on the order list, Sam was the mid laner. So if it's Garen mid, certainly more reasonable to be the Ezreal taking off the board. So somewhat fits that kind of long range.
Ezreal, great ban right now. Very strong in this new patch. Got just a little small tap of buff, but all of a sudden his win rate seems to be skyrocketing. So don't want to play against that. For blue side, I'm really hoping to see some more damage drafted. Maokai and Gragas, while they do some damage, you're really lacking that strong, and mid laner mage with some nice AP damage, or even an 80 carry with some nice sustained damage right now. So looking for something strong like that, hopefully coming out of the ADC role, and Echo locked in.
Yeah, interesting pick. I definitely agree. I want blue side to pick some more consistent damage. They have a lot of burst right now, not a lot of consistent damage to attack in a lot of the front line that the red side has picked up. It's a Veigar hover for the moment. I would not like a Veigar pick because of Gragas Maokai, but it will be locked in. I guess this is... I think it's Veigar 80 carry.
Potentially Veigar 80 carry here. They like I said, they could really flex any of these picks anywhere right now until the very last second.
So you can bring the Gragas support if you really want, and then go, or you can go Pantheon. So it's still kind of up in the air.
Yeah, very flexible draft from blue side. We'll have to take some predictions at where those are going to end up before they land in the game. That might be a fun one, but gonna try to counter whatever is happening with the Blitzcrank. Very interesting. Just trying to find that Veigar, pull him over there. Maybe drop the Demacia Garen ult on him, get him out of the fight, and then blue comp loses a lot of their damage. They don't have 0 damage, but they really lack that consistent 80 carry that we were talking about. So if you can find that Veigar on these fights, it might look a little rough for blue side.
Yeah, they do have a lot of zone control. Gragas, Maokai, Veigar Cage as well, and the point-and-click stun of something like a Pantheon. But still, I'm always not going to prefer a team comp that drafts such little consistent damage, especially when it comes to something like a Garen. Garen is really hard to just burst down initially. I mean, Camille is one who can do a good job at it, but it's not particularly easy. Warwick has a ton of sustain as well, so bursting him is an option, but if he gets a couple items, it comes very, very hard. I'm certainly interested to see how this one will go. I think that's Nerms playing support, which would mean it's Nermina Blitzcrank, which I would like to see.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. So we talked about the potential pitfalls of the blue side draft here for game number 3. What do you think is the goal of red side draft?
I mean, you have that Blitzcrank. I see a lot of very what I would describe as solo queue-esque champions.
Yeah,
they're definitely looking to try to smash their opponents in lane and maybe get that Blitzcrank around. Try to get some rogue hooks. Play really well around vision, get that pick going, and then I can see this comp very easily snowballing through the low damage on blue side. Blue side, if they can get that Veigar scaled, they can keep them safe. It's looking very, very difficult for red team to fight them.
That's true. Yeah, they do have a lot of ways to peel for the Veigar. You have Pantheon, you have Maokai, you have Gragas, even Camille to a certain extent. There's lots of options to get them off of Veigar. It's just a matter of if they are able to execute that properly enough. If it is Nermina's Blitzcrank, she's seen me play it plenty of times. Hopefully she's taken notes. So
take notes.
They can figure out exactly how to perfectly execute the Blitzcrank in the bot lane. But definitely one of those picks. We talked about taking off the Nautilus like they did, but Blitzcrank another great option. Even easier, almost more likely to secure a kill than the Nautilus. Maybe the hook is a little harder to hit, and he's a little more hook reliant. But we saw things look okay for you guys at times with that Draven when he got those shutdowns and got the cash out, and I imagine that'll be more of the focus here in this one. So we talked about the potential goals, pitfalls of both of these drafts. What are you thinking in regards to who is more likely to come out on top in game number 1?
I think I'm gonna have to give it the blue side. I think their comp, while it lacks damage, is a little bit easier to play. Red side's got to get aggro. They got to get aggressive. They got to make these plays. Like I said, very solo queue-esque. They're looking to beat their opponents. If that's not happening, I can see them falling behind very quickly and not being able to keep up with just the sheer numbers that is over on the blue side's comp. So yeah, we'll have to see if they can kind of accelerate that lead and go.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think blue side is a little bit more easy to execute, and I'm looking forward to seeing how things play out. It is Sam Thomas on Garen, so he's always able to make some magic happen. I've seen him win unwinnable games. There he is once again. he's preparing himself, or I think actually they're in game because we're on spectator delay, but he's having a good time up there. You can see him enjoying himself here at the lounge. I wanted to talk about the blue side draft potentially being flex picks. So if they're in LCS order, that is a Camille mid and a Garen mid.
Yes.
And then Maokai top, Gragas jungle, which is, I think, more interesting. I probably would have preferred Gragas top with like the Roa Seraph's build.
Yeah, I definitely
Maokai,
think Maokai's more potent in jungle than Gragas is. Other than that, I think you got to put the Camille into wherever the Garen goes.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
If Garen's mid, leave Camille mid. She can lane just fine in a shorter lane. I don't think that's too much of a deficit to her. I'd love to have seen Gragas in a solo lane, though. He makes great use of those solo lanes. And Maokai, with the saplings, being able to travel around the map, put him all over the, very useful in the jungle. Pantheon support, it's fine.
Yeah, it's whatever. With the Vygar, you put him in a cage, you give Pantheon the range to get in there. It's not bad. I do not dislike it one bit, but that's the 3-minute spectator delay, so we'll be hopping on to Summoner's Rift here very, very soon, seeing if our predictions are correct. I think it is. I know when they recruited Andrew from the broadcast room to go in and play, they did tell me he was playing a jungle, and he's got the Gragas attached to him, so... definitely a power pick. Gragas needs to be nerfed ASAP. That chip is, I don't know your thoughts on it. That chip is too broken.
He's definitely a big contention in draft, for our team right now. Very, very got to consider, do we want to pick him? Do we want the enemy to have him? Very scary right now. Hopefully getting tapped down soon.
It is. He needs to, he does too much damage, or he can be too tanky. He itemizes too well with items that are very, very strong for AP characters, and he just has too much sustain in lane as well. I think that's one of the big things that people talk about it a lot, but maybe not enough. The amount of sustain he has in laning phase is pretty remarkable. So we'll see how that pans out here for them in game number 3 as we head to Summoner's Rift. You can see it is Mr. Goliath playing that. Okay, so it's Nerm's jungle playing Echo. So a couple faces in here that I do not recognize immediately, but we are going to see an invade on both sides of the map, opposite sides of the map. So blue side, led by their Pantheon, walks triumphantly to the enemy red buff. Red side, led triumphantly by Alucard's Blitzcrank, walks triumphantly to their red buff, and they will all find nothing.
Getting a little stacked on each other down there, trying to get around that corner. But yeah, I think both teams read it. There's a Blitzcrank, an invade's happening. So both teams stacked as 5, walked in. Blue team might have snuffed out that they went red, and they're still stacked. But red team kind of splitting up a little bit. So let's see what happens. Maybe some action. Maybe they walk in. Maybe they stay.
We'll have to see what they decide to do. So far, they're stacking as 5 still. Should split up. Now we'll see where things decide to go. I don't know if this is... Okay, so it is actually Maokai's support Pantheon top. Interesting. Certainly not what I expected here in game.
I think I do like that better than the Maokai top, though, if you're not going to put the Maokai jungle. Yeah. Getting Pantheon, those... Ooh, a hook straight away. Ignite down.
On to Smitty, and he misses the flash! Blitzcrank gets the kill, which doesn't feel fantastic, but that is okay.
Already getting some gold, to that Draven in that lane, getting some prio, putting that Vygar behind instantly. Very, very, very good if you're the Draven.
Yeah.
Not very good if you're the Vygar.
No, it is certainly not. It is interesting. They brought the Camille top. They instead opt for the Pantheon in the mid lane. You did mention the Warwick potentially being a flex, and it was, bringing that with that flash barrier. Very solo queue-esque. Sam just going to continue taking some of these trades here. It is a little bit more bruiser, at least rune set for this Pantheon with the Conqueror, but does still have the Ignite. Has already popped all of his corrupting potions, though, so potentially in some trouble as he sustains up here in the mid lane.
You're probably not looking to stay in the lane too much longer if you can. Maybe crash the wave, get the cheater, and buy a longsword and get those pots back up and come back to lane and keep trying to earn that prio so you can maybe move with your jungler. But we're getting a big fight up top. Yeah,
lots of skirmishing power. Another hook lands, and this Vygar does not have flash, but they will root up the Draven, and he should die to this Ignite. It is a level 2 Ignite, so it's going to be close, and it will pick him up. So not a ton of stacks lost, but still a kill nonetheless, as Narmina now in some trouble with the enemy mid laner invading her on the red buff, and the snipe comes out from the Q. Unfortunate, as Narmina will fall. Goliath dropping that ghost, and hoping to secure the kill for himself. It'll be instead the Warwick, Poisonous Panda, grabbing that one up. Now K9 potentially in some trouble, did not know he was on a ward, and has the E over the wall to make himself back at home here in the safety of his own jungle.
Yeah, interesting choice from the Pantheon to kind of go use that prio that he earned from crashing the wave. Instead of recalling for the cheater, he goes up and, snuffs out the jungler started bot side. So catches him on that red and gets that kill. Unfortunately, his solo lanes had prio back, came to the kill. A little unfortunate, but some chaos in the bot lane while I'm speaking.
Yeah, we had another kill go over to the Draven, just perma fighting. That's the nature of the Blitzcrank lanes typically in these games. If they have the angle, they're going to find the angle, and when you're a champ like Vigar, it's so difficult. You don't have a mobility, you don't really have a way to dodge it other than just hoping that you can click the right direction, and so far, the prayers have not been answered.
Unfortunately, losing that flash. Oh, we're going in?
Oh, looking for more, potentially, but the warrior coming down has flash, opts not to use it. It'll instead be the flash expended by K9 autos wave, and now he's going to live! The Warwick
the low
is going to infinitely sustain. He doesn't have flash anymore, though, but they're already going to get one as the Gragas will fall. Big blunder from Andrew there. He gets the enhanced W auto and then autos the creeps.
Oh, it was... The flash looked so doomed from the Warwick, but then the auto, he flashed the auto attack, he flashed the right click, and he autos the minions. Absolute tragedy in the top lane. Yeah. But we have Pantheon catching the Echo.
Yeah, looking for Nurmina now here in the top side river. Goliath is here to match as well, and this stun will not go down, unfortunately. The flash keeping Nosaraki safe, so he can just walk on out just fine. But yeah, really unfortunate there in the top side of the map. Looked like a free kill, but just not able to find it. And instead, the Warwick grabs his second kill of the game.
And Nosaraki playing super aggro on this Pantheon, really just shoving out the wave and looking for opportunities.
Yeah, unfortunate. Andrew looking for that gank angle on the Gragas, but not quite able to find it. The cage just comes in a little too late, and the knockup is enough to secure that the CC will not come down. So, like you said, yeah, very aggressive on this Pantheon for sure. Sam potentially going for a dive, but he's going to tank 3 tower shots for it. Don't think that's the trade he was hoping for.
Here comes the jungler.
Yeah, he's got Andrew right behind him, but K9 lands the E and it hits the creep. Unfortunate, blocks him out, so Goliath can just walk on out. Now Poisonous Panda is looking to chase someone down. Finds K9 in the jungle, but it'll be just fine. Flash ult gets blocked by the Pantheon. I don't blame Sam there. I think he was trying to do a reaction speed test, make sure can you click the button fast enough, and the answer was that he could. So the Pantheon will survive.
A nice little you go flash forward, trying to get the play, trying to get maybe the clip, but you got to go for those sometimes.
Of course.
Definitely with this more solo queue comp, got to expect some of those kind of plays coming out of them.
Absolutely. They definitely have built an interesting composition here for themselves, but so far working out pretty well. They've got themselves a decent lead, a couple kills, and a couple 1,000 gold to go on top of it as well. Oh, that looked funny.
Yeah, that definitely looked funny with the vision toggle. That's kind of just disappeared, but... Makai trying to make use of some of those saplings in place of normal wards, trying to get some down to protect not only his jungle, but maybe try to get some in the enemy jungle. Kind of sniff out that Echo before he can make a play on this very, very vulnerable Vigar.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Vigar is very vulnerable, like you said. His flash has come back up since dying for First Blood earlier on, but still not what you're hoping for. We'll get feared. I don't know if this trade is okay if you get the kill, but... Going to continue chasing, has the infinite duress, and it will land. But I don't know if he's got the damage, needs the Q to come down. So because he doesn't have that, I'm interested to know your thoughts on this. It was a full HP Camille, I understand the vision, but he missed so much gold. That was a huge wave that crashed onto the top tier 1.
Yeah, for a second I thought maybe he had his jungler coming up and we just didn't see that. But another fight is breaking out in the bot lane.
Yeah, hook lands. Anzol gets the kill with the Whirling Death at a big cash out, 350 for... the Draven. Now K9 looking for something, has the explosive cast, but instead it'll just be donated to the Draven. Certainly a third won't go over. Waiting on the knockup from him. Needs one more auto, and he gets it. He will fall in response, but he's not worth a shutdown because
I think that's hashtag worth.
He just got 3, so now he will respawn with a 300 gold shutdown. I'm inclined to agree. I think that is incredibly worth for Anzel's Draven.
Yeah, picking up not only the cash-in, but then more kills on top of that. Unfortunately, he does under tower, but I think that's a worth trade.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's even more worth because he dies at that moment to the Gragas without a shutdown. So Gragas gets 300 gold. Now, I mean, the next kill to him, if he ever dies again, it will be the 600, but doesn't give it over initially, so feels pretty good. K9 looking for something up here in the top side, but not going to find it. Certainly we got a little bit of pause here, but we're back. Everfrost, but that doesn't sound particularly good on Gragas. Alucort looking for the angle here. Will get knocked away, but lands the hook into the cage. Nerms is here, but cannot dash onto the Maokai just yet, and it'll just be another one going over to the Draven. Anzel is a Draven one trick, and now he's got 5 kills to his name and is doubling the CS of his lane opponent.
Blew that flash early. Super unfortunate. It gave Draven prio early on. Constantly using the Blitzcrank to apply even more pressure, and now they have a 5-2 Draven, so it definitely paid off. Not quite sure what Blue's plan is after this to deal with that Draven. Probably looking to maybe rotate some members, maybe try to get that Pantheon to lock him down, but with Cleanse, his flash isn't up right now, so they got a small window, but once
from the dragon that she just took, and it gets the blue side off of the Rift Herald. Poisonous Panda going to look for something here on the Warwick, but will not find it just yet, as we'll go back to just some farming up here in the bot lane. The mid laner's health bar very, very low, but you can see the sustain coming out of this Warwick with that Vamp Scepter, with that passive. 1 kill already down in the bot lane, maybe 2, not quite yet. It will be 2 going over to Anzel, and they're winning this fight all across the Rift. Sam Thomas gets his first kill of the game on his lane opponent. Nosaraki cannot survive with the flash, and now they get to pick up the Rift Herald as their prize as well. This one is starting to snowball out of control for Red Side.
Yep, getting hit their hands with their early strong comp. They're strong, they're using it, getting these objectives, pushing blue team off. Probably going to use this Rift Herald, maybe to accelerate Draven more, maybe to try to get some plates onto the Garen as well. Just to really, solidify that lead so they can march their way to the Nexus just a little bit faster. Yeah,
I think either way you could drop it really anywhere. I wouldn't love to see it drop for the Warwick. I don't think that is necessary. You could for sure drop it towards the Draven, snowballing him even more. He's already got every single component of Infinity Edge, just waiting on that last bit of gold to get it. And we're at 12 minutes, so he is very, very, very strong. I like this decision making as well from the side of Nerms and Goliath. They're moving the Blitzcrank around the map, bringing him to the top side of the Rift for the moment. There's no objective to play for, but could potentially look for an angle on the top laner or maybe mid lane as well. But right now, as you can see, Pantheon and Gragas hovering around on this bot side, but Anzel kind of sniffs it out and makes sure that he can make it out okay. And you guessed it, 3-4-3. 100% of the time, we pause. I told you we were doing our best LEC. Oh, actually, I told Alex we were doing our best LEC impression today, but I'm sure you heard me.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't chrono break our games when things go wrong. But, yeah, I'm very curious at that end to see the Blitzcrank kind of roaming up to that top lane, maybe looking for a play. They kind of already got a little bit of a lead, and there's really nothing up there. So I'm curious as to why we're not just, kind of deathballing the Draven, kind of use that lead, get that tower down, and then maybe rotate a mid, or maybe Draven should have just gone mid straight away. If you want to put pressure on the top side of the map, try to break some of those turret plates, get just a little bit more money in his pocket, get that IE, get him rolling, win some team fights, win a game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they definitely can. I think prioritizing the Draven is going to be something that they will do, and they have plenty of options to keep him safe as well. We'll have to see how they execute them. And even then, I mean, I say keep the Draven safe, but I don't think that's really their main priority. I think the main priority is Truthfully, I think at this point, anyone who is hooked will probably die in, like, once Draven finishes, I eat like 2 or 3 autos from the Draven, and it's going to be very, very hard to deal with. But when you give someone who only primarily plays one character that character, you're giving them a higher chance for victory. And currently red side, like you said, picking the early game comp and certainly winning out in the early game at the moment. I mean, what do you think that blue side needs to do in this one to get themselves back in a favorable position? I think they're down 5 or 6K right now.
No, they have plenty of dive on their comp. They have plenty of crowd control, so maybe just they have to all commit to the Draven. Maybe look for a risky five man, get that Draven shut down. If you can get it on Vigar and get him rolling, get some items under his belt, get some AP on that passive. Maybe you're looking to play some fights slow around Cage, around Cask. Maybe try to get some picks. Start the fight slow. Just really walk in there. Try to get picks. If you can get some picks, get some money on your carries, maybe the game looks a little bit more winnable.
Yeah, I think so too. I think both are very viable options. We are back on to Summoner's Rift. I would like to see, as we get of course, it follows up with the pause every single time. I would like to see the Camille ult used on the Draven and just use everything on him. He has cleanse, but you can't cleanse Camille ult. Just commit Vigar, Maokai, commit everything onto the Draven, get the kill. He is your target. He's nearly got a 700 gold shutdown. You can see the Blitzcrank still hanging out here in that top side. Riverbush potentially looking for an angle here, and Camille's pretty far extended. I'm surprised he hasn't gone just yet, as Andrew looking in the mid lane onto his B team teammate Goliath. Will not find him here, as Alicorp now looking, but the hook goes just a bit wide. Flash forward for the knockup. That one coming down as well. There goes the Locket to block some of that tower damage, but they will not find the kill. They expended a lot, 2 ultimates and a flash from the support as Nermina flashing forward, looking for the kill on to K9. But here comes the Nature's Grasp onto 1. Goliath gets 1 as the Gragas will fall. Nerms will fall in response, however, but now Anzel is alive. Anzel does not have cleanse up, or excuse me, he's just using, does have flash, flashes away. They're looking for the kill, but they cannot fight it. The Q animation gets canceled, but it will not matter because it goes over to the Pantheon. He's looking for one back on to Goliath, and he'll find it. Poisonous Panda's made his way all the way from top lane and cannot find the kill. So that's 950 gold shutdown given over to the Pantheon. The Draven falls. He did cash out well beforehand, so won't miss any stacks, but big influx of gold for the blue side mid laner.
Yeah, if you want to talk about a champion that can very quickly shut down an AD carry, look no further than Pantheon. Just jumping in with that W every time, very good to lock down, kind of traps him, into the rest of the team's engage if they're ready to be with them. He's also very good at stalling them out, maybe even 1v1ing them on the side if he needs to buy his team time. Making very good use of that E, and then obviously finishing it out with that nice Q snipe. There's just so much damage when he's got all 5 stacks. And
yeah, absolutely. And he didn't have a finished item yet either. He just finished that Eclipse in base now. One of the itemization things I've seen, I imagine you've seen it a bit as well in solo queue and even a little bit in competitive, is the transition to building Bork on Pantheon. I think this is a game where you could 100% justify it. Fairly tanky members on the side of the red side, and it just blows people up so quickly with the empowered W, like you mentioned, with the 5 stacks. It does so much damage, but we'll have to see if that's what he goes into. Just finished the Eclipse just now. You can see Nerms hovering around this bot side. Cannot drop the Herald for plates, unfortunately, but can drop it to just secure the tower in general. And Goliath has made a roam up to the top lane as well. They will silence the Camille, but I don't know if they have the damage. They do. The Infinite Duress is enough. Poisonous Panda secures the kill, and the hook lands onto the Maokai. This should almost certainly be one falling. Nermina going to secure that kill, her first of the game, and the Herald will not claim the full turret just yet, but they do have another wave coming in they could potentially look for. Pantheon has moved down here, though, but this tower is just far too low. First turret given to the Draven.
Yep. Finally using that lead to capitalize on that turret. It's nice to see the Blitzcrank bot playing with the Draven. They're just trying to press this lead. Probably going to take this dragon here. Blue team can't really afford to contest yet. That 8k almost gold lead is super impressive. Definitely, since a lot of it is focalized on that Draven.
Oh, yeah.
They really need to try to get some of those item spikes and then maybe look for a pick on this Draven before this game gets too far out of hand.
Yeah, you need to try. I think you need to get Camille on Divine Sunderer. You get Camille on Divine and then just Hextech Ultimatum onto the Draven. and try your luck. You know that he doesn't have cleanse. This is your time, actually. You really need to find an angle. Flash in from K9, knocking the Blitzcrank into tower range. No flash on this support, so he will fall to the hands of the Gragas. Flash away is the Pantheon. That is one of your big tools in potentially getting onto this Draven taken off. No flash stun available anymore, but the Nature's Grasp is coming in. It'll only lock up one for the time being. The Draven is free hitting at the moment. Not going to find the damage just yet. The E won't block much. The cage comes down onto the Draven, but won't find the damage.
Super interested in this Vigar itemization, opting to go for Crown of the Shattered Queen.
And no cheer.
I think this item can be useful for anti-burst, but since you're so far behind in this game, you're very much losing the damage that could be provided by literally any other AP mythic in this case. So yes, it's kind of a bait a little bit when you look at it, but we're fighting in the mid lane.
Yeah, Goliath did secure the tower, was forced to use the Ghost, though, to make sure he could make his way out to safety, and he does, so he is A-okay up there in the mid lane. But yeah, I fully agree. I think I understand the value of Crown and what you're trying to do, but also, like, I mean, a lot of the damage is burst. You get Blitzcrank hooked, and then you're probably dying at a couple autos, and you're stopping some of that. But realistically, if you're without sums as this Vigar, and you get hooked by Blitzcrank, and you mitigate the auto of 2 Draven autos, you're still dead from the next 2 after that, when the Crown of the Shattered Queen falls off. I think something like an Everfrost could have been viable, something like the Rod of Ages like we've typically seen. I think even in my opinion at least, Rod of Ages and Seraphs almost provides you with a similar utility because you're so tanky with the shield that comes in from that Lifeline passive, but not opting for that here in our game. And it has been a difficult one for this Vigar 80 carry, but that is A-okay. Things happen. Obviously, there's still times where he's going to be useful. The cage is always going to play a factor in these team fights. We'll have to see how things play out. However, still a dominant dominant lead here for Red Side, approaching that 9K mark. The hook's going to land on to the Pantheon. He has the E to survive for a moment, but a moment is not enough as the Whirling Death picks up the kill. That is Anzul's 10th of the game.
Another hook, another death, and I think that's going to be the story for pretty much the rest of this game. Really got to be careful. You know, Blitzcrank's got a very wide lethal range, definitely with, you know, access to the W, giving him, you know, very easy to catch with somebody. Definitely also while on mobility boots. Yeah, kind of a menace, just feeding this Draven kill after kill as we approach the Blue River.
Yeah, lands the knock-up and now the hook, and that is all she wrote. Candy Cardiology is no longer with us. Goliath has lots of tenacity, but does get knocked back into the Vigar's range, but not nearly enough damage. The Nature's Grasp does not find its target either.
Phase Rush doing work.
It really is. He loves this rune. He goes Phase Rush all the time.
He loves him to get out of pretty much trouble with the tenacity plus the bonus move speed. Garen just leaves. If he doesn't want to be there, he doesn't have to be there. So definitely making great use of his runes.
Big stun lands onto the Vigar, and he will fall. That one going over to the Blitzcrank. I don't know if they'll keep on chasing. They just might, but instead opting to just take away K9's camps. It is Everfrost on the Gragas, so something I hinted at potentially being an option, and I'm, you know, kind of curious what your thoughts are. Obviously, we typically see the Night Harvester full big-time damage. Cleanse coming down first, though, onto the Draven. He's going to stay alive for now, and Goliath will claim the kill with the Demacian Justice.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a choice when you're playing Gragas. I don't think it's a terrible choice. I would have liked to have seen maybe a Rod of Ages or even a Night Harvester, try to give you some extra burst onto this Draven. But since your comp has a ton of crowd control already, you know, looking at every single champion on the roster has at least 1.5 seconds of crowd control, if not more in other forms. So definitely could have had the option to opt into a higher damage build. You don't really need the mana from a Lost Chapter item as you're the jungler, and you get the, you know, the bonus mana while you're in the jungle. But
that's true. Yeah, I agree. I think it is an interesting choice. I mean, you mentioned it, the hook will land, but it's just the Blitzcrank this time, Mr. Vigar. You don't have to worry. There's no Draven behind him here in this topside river. But yeah, there's so much CC already built into all 5 characters of your kid as the hook lands onto K9 and he will fall. It's Anzul claiming his 12th of the game, and they can potentially look for more. Goliath popping the Ghosts and the Q as well. There's so much tenacity on this Garen, doing so much damage. It's 1 going to Anzul, make it 2 more going to Anzul. That's 3 in total. 14 on the game. The Draven is just having the time of his life here after picking up that Kraken Slayer, especially as his 3rd item. And now they've got their Baron in their sights.
Yeah, very, very awkward there. Awkwardly face checking with no sweeper pop, no C wards, not even like a blue trinket over the wall to help them into that. Just kind of running where the wind takes them, maybe hoping to try to catch somebody out warding to try to get back into this game.
Pantheon finds his way into the pit, forced the flash, and now Poisonous Panda looking for something. Use flash and barrier already, so could potentially be difficult, but Poisonous Panda doing tons of damage, but as is the Pantheon. Not enough, however, to survive, so that is the blue side mid laner falling to Poisonous Panda's Warwick. Meanwhile, while taking the Baron, Goliath heads down to the Drake, picks that one up for his team. So they are just 1 Drake away from Ocean Soul. Pretty much every neutral throughout this one has gone the way of Red Side.
I say every neutral has gone pretty much to red side, unless you're counting maybe the first Scuttle Crab. But yeah, definitely very dominant performance, very ahead. About to escalate to a full 16k gold lead. It is looking extremely dire. You know, dire games call for dire situations. I love the attempt of the Pantheon ult steal. You know, the spear from the heavens wasn't quite enough to steal the Baron, but you know, honestly, it's worth throwing away your life for a chance at getting that, you know, team gold and slowing the game down a little bit with that Baron buff. But yeah, let's see if they can maybe do something similar, but have some success this time.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see what they can do. I think at this point, if you're blue side, you're playing around the mistakes of red side and if they make any. But it's only time that will tell if that will occur. I'm always going to respect, you already mentioned it, the Pantheon ulting into the pit. They're going to look for the Maokai right now, though. Not enough damage coming down quite yet. Big Cage at least stops the chase, but the Whirling Death stops the life of Little Ricefields. Maokai, just a rough game in the bot side of the map here for red side. Just hard to play. That level 1 made the game really, really difficult, and they kept up the pressure throughout this one. They're going to try and force here now. Anzul has the cleanser to look for the Pantheon, and they'll find him as he goes godlike. Camille looking to do some damage here, looking onto the Blitzcrank. They will pick up 1. That's going to go over to K9 and see what else they can find. Is E over the wall, potentially looking for the Echo. Everfrost stops a little bit, but Anzul just flashes over the pit and makes his way for his 17th of the game. Now Goliath in some trouble here. Does have the ulti. No sums, however, but Phase Rush keeping him safe at least for a moment. Nerms will get stunned up here. Pops the ultimate just to play it safe. No Primordial Burst, though, from the Vygar available, so imagine she would have been safe regardless, but better safe than sorry as they continue their push here on the bot side of the map. You're right,
looking for Draven.
Starfall. They're looking on to the Draven, and he gets 1 in response, but that is 1k donated over to the Pantheon. That's exactly what you needed. You knew that he didn't have sums. You just had to get on top of him as fast as you can. They do just that. 1k going to the Pantheon. My question for you, Graham, is that who you want the 1k on?
I think in an ideal world, it'd probably be better to get it on that Vygar, get some items. Don't hate it on your Pantheon. He is your main threat onto that Draven.
Hook will land. The Camille will fall to this Ignite. Pantheon jumping in will get knocked up. I think that's probably all the damage that they've got, especially with that Infinite Duress used defensively. Hook lands onto the Maokai. Goliath looking for some damage, but the explosive cast used defensively as well keeps everyone alive for now. Naria trying to survive, has plenty of dashes available, and now Poisonous Panda's here to defend their jungler.
Pantheon hasn't spent that money yet. He doesn't have that extra gold. He can't quite fight these guys back here. Hopefully he can get out here.
Oh, that's true, but he does not have the chance. Poisonous Panda's going to get the kill. The E-Shield just dropping so much damage going down. That does give Pantheon the full Black Cleaver now on his death, but still, like you mentioned, just not able to spend. Makes it so much more difficult to fight, and it looked already pretty rough from the start.
Yeah, they've basically lost all control of their red quadrant. It is completely warded up by red side. It is every camp is going over to this Draven or to his his teammates who are basically just letting him take everything because he does all the damage. So, can't really say no at this point, right? Let the Draven get that full build, and then, maybe the rest of the team can get some money. But the blue team kind of just grasping at straws, trying to hold on to this game as tight as they can, hopefully hoping that red will make an egregious error to, throw some gold over in their hands. But at this point, it might take a couple more than one errors to get them back.
Yeah,
from this
I think
game.
it's going to take a whole slew of errors, but Goliath is trying to make an error right now. He's not going to take too much damage. Oh, we've been spoiled. The hook will land onto the Maokai, instantly blown up as Anzel gets that kill. Explosive Cast lands onto multiple members, but not going to find very much. There is no Baron buff buffing up these minions, but that's 2 inhibs already falling. Cage will stun up 1, but a hook lands onto the Vigar, and he just dies so fast, man. Anzel grabbing another one. These crits are doing 1,300 damage.
Vigar was a big part of the anti-push here. Draven finding another in 3 autos.
Yeah, the Cage was doing a lot of work, and Anzel has the cleanse to make it on out. There goes the hook onto the Pantheon, make it a double kill for Anzel. He's going to end this one, at least for now. He's got 22 kills in 27 minutes, and he's looking to get some more. That one will instead go to Goliath.
Said it's my turn.
He gets another one. Anzel with 23 kills. Who spawns next is the Vigar. He runs out of the fountain. Well, he started to, but now he's back in. Blitzcrank is unfortunately out of mana, so I don't think there's going to be anything to find. And the hook goes wide. His last potential hook. The Draven could potentially fall, but no, it'll be Goliath claiming his 5th. This one was a tough one for blue side. Valiant effort. Things looked okay at times, but that bot lane snowballed so hard. That's what you picked Draven for, and they did it perfectly.
This is a classic example of why we research our opponents when we play them in official games, because sometimes they just have these picks that they're very golden on and they look great on, and games like this can and will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you from first experience, having played against Anzel's Draven in in-houses and in other occurrences as well, it's worth the ban. He plays a lot of Draven, and that's for a good reason. He wins a lot of the time on it. He proved it here in game number 3 with a dominant win over their opponents. But that's all for game number 3. I believe we should have one more on the docket for tonight for the Gamer Gauntlet. One more match to go, but we'll have a quick break before we get to that. Thank you all so much for watching up until this point. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. We've got one more game to come at you. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mizzou Esports Twitch stream. We've got our final League of Legends game of the day, and the desk is exactly the same. It's me and
still
Graham,
here.
and there's we're ready to get started with the draft here very, very soon. But first, I wanted to play a fun game with you. We've talked about so many drafts. I'm going to think of a league character, and using yes or no questions, I want you to guess who it is.
Okay.
Let me think of one real quick.
Okay. Give you a second.
Okay, I've got it.
Okay. Is it a support?
No.
Ooh. Are they an AD champion?
Do AD damage?
Yeah, do
I believe so.
I believe so. Ooh, that's weird. Okay, I'm gonna narrow down the roles. Is it a jungler?
It is.
It is the jungler. Okay. Are they a full clear jungler?
I would imagine so. Probably not, actually. I don't think so.
Probably not?
I don't think so.
Ooh, so they like to gank. So, do they have CC in their kit?
Yes.
They do have CC in their kit. Ooh, this is difficult. There's still so many options that I have. Have they been played today?
No.
No, they haven't. Can I take a guess?
Sure.
Is it Udyr?
No.
No. So
Not
he's
yet.
a little bit of both. You can do whatever you want on that
Yeah.
champion. That's kind of where my mindset was because you're
That's true.
little waffling on the type of damage that he did.
Not
but
quite correct, though.
okay. Is the champion male?
I believe so, yeah.
I believe so. Ooh. So it's like
If this was Laudel, it would either be male or it might be other, but I think
might
it's
be
male.
other. Okay, so it's like a monster champion then or something to that
Yes.
degree. So it's a jungler. Does mixed damage in a way?
I believe so. I'm
Mixed
pretty
damage?
sure it does.
Mixed damage? Oh,
Pretty
that's
sure.
so interesting. Volibear?
No.
Oh, wow.
Not Volibear, not Volibear.
What other monster junglers are there? We got like Maokai. Okay. Wow.
We saw Maokai today.
We did see a Maokai today. You're right. I shouldn't have said that one. Kind of trolling a little bit.
It is, well, I think any hint I give it away.
Give it away.
Unless we want to
it's
rush
that
through it and
obvious.
then reverse and you think of a character.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Drop the hint.
It is, I think, the least played character in the game.
Least played character in the
I
game?
think. It's up there.
Are you thinking of Nocturne?
No.
Wow. I'm at a loss. Who are you thinking of? You
Skarner.
stumped me. Skarner. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, let's flip the tables.
Okay.
That creative champion should be cool to see in this game. It's still an option on the red side.
It is.
I've thought of a champion. Let's go
Okay.
for this.
Is it a mid laner?
It is not a mid laner.
AD carry?
It's not an AD carry.
Support?
It is not a support.
Top laner?
It is traditionally a top laner.
Traditionally a top laner, okay. Is it male?
No.
Female?
Yes.
Okay, female top laner. Melee?
Yes.
Okay. Is it like human?
Yeah. Human.
Okay.
I think
Is
Loldo
it-
might mark it with something other than just human, but it would definitely have human there.
Is it Alawi?
It's not Alawi. It's a good guess though.
Human, female, melee top laner. Have we seen this character played today?
No, we have not. Not on stream.
Okay. Does this character use mana?
Yes.
That actually doesn't help.
You got rid of like what, Riven? No,
Yeah, I
Riven?
was thinking like Riven or something.
Yeah.
Uses mana, melee, female, human top laner. I can't even really think of female top laners in general. Is this character popular?
Not in the current meta, but she's seen a lot of playtime in pro.
And does use mana?
And does use mana.
Is this character new?
Newer.
Is it Gwen?
Yes, it is Gwen. Nice job. Good guess. Good one. I noticed that the camera
Uses
was
mana.
awkwardly zoomed in on me there for a second, but I guess now looking at this draft,
If we have to
it's
talk
almost
about
done, right?
It
We
is
almost saw the whole time.
semi-interesting. We have Heimerdinger picked up first. I imagine that's support. I guess it could go either way. Diana, Darius, Zaya, Yasuo on red side as well. Nuno and Willem picked up. Looks like Morgana will be another lock-in. So I guess this is a solo lane Heimerdinger then.
Yeah,
Or I
maybe
guess
solo
lane
aim
Morgana.
Heimerdinger. Potentially 80 carry though. I feel like that might be a little avant-garde, a little champion himself from today's EU game. If you did not check it out, you'll definitely see it on Twitter soon. But yeah, I guess, is that a Akshan AD carry, or are we still expecting that Heimer to be the AD carry here?
I think Akshan AD carry is pretty troll.
I agree.
So I guess Heimer, Morgana bot lane, and then Akshan mid?
Yeah, putting that Akshan in the mid lane.
Xerath.
Red side could definitely deal with some extra AP damage to help out that Diana, because she probably wants to go more toward that tankier build. So yeah, some AP damage not bad. Some range too. Kind of play outside of the Heimer turrets. Don't necessarily want to be engaging into Morgana Heimer every single fight. So
that's true. I would have liked another knock-up champ, just because I think like playing around the Yasuo. I don't like having it on. It's like there's not too many examples of this where I hate having it because it feels giga useless, and then I hate playing against it because every enemy Xerath is like scripting, so I get hit by everything. But when it's on my team, it lands 0 skill shots and dies for first blood. But we'll have to see how they play it out here in this one. But on the other side of the Rift, it is an interesting draft. If it's not Akshan, I mean, I don't know. I would imagine Akshan AD carry is bad, but Heimerdinger AD carry also died a while ago. But you can bring it back if you want.
It's more to what's comfortable with the players. It's flexible. They have options. I don't think either of them, in my opinion, is insanely better than the other in each role. I think having Heimer topside could be useful for objectives.
Sure.
Then also allowing him to have that presence in bot lane and basically control the lane by himself, opening up Morgana to roam. Akshan also a roaming champ, so putting him in a solo lane means he could potentially affect the rest of the map. While Heimerdinger, obviously up there to just root, stay up there, get his job done, pick up that CS, maybe put some turrets on, Baron when it spawns at 20 minutes, but he's looking for a slower game than Akshan.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is one of the important things with Akshan when you talk about roaming around that was talked about on the LEC broadcast today is because they were playing Akshan top into Kennen as an isolated counter pick. Didn't really work out, but regardless, one of the big benefits of Akshan is the the active. Of course, the passive is what everybody talks about, but the active isn't as useful when it's Akshan top. You're not getting as much value roaming around. You're getting some value. You can move into the jungle. You can move down into mid lane, but if it's Akshan mid, you get so much more value going into Fog because you can go bot or top. So I hope it's Akshan mid as opposed to Akshan top. I think either is fine. We did already see the Camille played mid one time, but I doubt that's going to be where we're going to see it going. If this game was like 2 years ago, we could be talking about Morgana jungle, but unfortunately not around anymore.
That was quite the meta, wasn't it, during that MSI?
Oh boy, that was so fun.
That was quite the AP jungle meta, but yeah, most likely expecting this Morgana to go to support. Don't really have many other options unless we want to play like Heimer support with Akshan AD carry, but then we're just getting further out there and even weirder.
Yeah, you could have like the Heimer Morgana bot lane like we think, but just swapped. Like it could be farming Morgana, but that sounds really bad.
Yeah, that doesn't quite use the gold like a Heimerdinger would in that situation.
No.
But yeah, definitely some flex picks. Hopefully, these are some comfort picks for the players. Did not get to see who's in the lobby, and I can't really tell because it seems that our client might be a little bit.
I don't think anything's wrong.
It might just be me, but
get your eyes checked.
Yeah, I don't think my glasses are working anymore. But
I do think that getting gold on Heimer is better. He's gotten a couple of nerfs, and obviously Heimerdinger support was ever prevalent and then kind of fell out of the meta for a couple of different reasons. But I think getting gold on Heimer is really, really nice. Heimer as a champ is like so only useful in such isolated situations, at least from my perspective, that one of the best things he can do is playing around Fog and Vision, and then having enough items to just like insta one-shot somebody. Throw grenade, Alt W. That's where I want to see the value of the Heimerdinger come in.
Yeah, he's super good if you can play off Vision. As you said, the ult plus the grenade is super good for engage. It's very devastating if you're not ready for it. What Heimerdinger really excels at is if you can get to the point early, if you can get to the objective and just sit. Walking into Heimer turrets is never fun.
Possible.
Definitely since you can put them down late game. It seems like they never end. There's always a turret. You get hit by one ability, and all of a sudden, there's a firing squad shooting you down as you try to, get through one of the corridors to Dragon. So hopefully he can put that gold toward Leandri's and, get that burn damage and start slowing down this hyper-engaged teamfight comp that the other side has drafted.
That's true, yeah. They do have hyper-engage with the Darius, with the Yasuo, and the Diana, but if you get hit by that engage, it certainly makes it a little more difficult. It is looking like it will be, oh, of course it's Darius. It's Sam Thomas. Ah, I see. Sam Thomas, Darius. He is the Garen one trick, but he has been known to bring this one out every once in a while. So clearly both sides are a little out of order. My guess is it is Heimer AD carry because Akshan has Ignite, and I don't think they would go double Ignite bot lane, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm definitely with the exhaust, probably looking to just try to survive some of that burst. Heimer probably AD carry, probably want Akshan with that Ignite, putting pressure on those soul laners, whichever lane he probably goes to. Most likely mid in this game, but we could also potentially see flexing that top if it's an easier matchup, if you're about to play the Camille into the Yasuo, or if, vice versa. They have options, like I said. Akshan, very flexible champion, even if he's not, great in all those roles.
Yeah, I know that initially the first time, I think it was last week, that Akshan was played in the LEC was as a pick into Adam's Darius, played by the Vitality top laner, Photon. And it didn't look super great, but I understand, the vision. I mean, it's just range top laner into melee. You're able to kind of do... have some general benefits and effects, but we'll see where everything's going once we get into game and the players are able to leave the fountain. Of course, always have a couple of touch-and-go issues with the Spectator clan, just from the nature in which it is, but that is a-okay. So it will definitely be Morgana support, and Nunu and Diana jungle, where everything else is going. We cannot say for sure, but we'll certainly find out soon enough. I'm looking forward to it. We can see we might get an invade here on the bot side. We can see blue side stacking up, potentially looking for an angle, but they will be matched. So we might just get a full-on 5v5 level 1.
Got a level 1 brawl.
And it's looking okay for Goliath now. He gets exhausted. Alcor will almost certainly just drop instantly, as that's first blood given over right away to red side. Handed over to the Diana in the jungle. And when a lot of your teams engage is reliant on this Yasuo-Diana combo, getting 400 gold before minions spawn on a Diana is not something you're going to complain about.
Yeah, that's a free Amto. That means faster clear. So she's going to be able to get through those camps slightly faster. If, even if it's only a 10 AP, might give her a couple extra seconds to mess around with, maybe to look for a play before Scuttle Crab.
Sure.
Though she is probably still looking to farm all of her camps, really wants to get that build underway, as she is going to be her team's main source of AP damage. Obviously, with the support, Xerath being a little bit limited on resources, as he just has that support item to gold. Not going to do as much damage as you would hope from a sole AP champion, so...
Yeah, not as much as we anticipated, but we'll see what they're able to figure out here. I know certain individuals prefer buying Ruby Crystal with First Blood, but instead opting for the Amp Tome is an interesting choice as well. First Bind will land. A good start to the lane, so it will be that farming Heimerdinger, the Akshan in the mid lane. And I imagine Akshan into Yasuo is an okay matchup. Windwall is always going to counteract characters who attack with ranged autos, but are able to at least attack from some range early on.
Yeah, it's kind of the weakness of Heimer AD carry showing here. Morgana's finding these binds constantly, but a level 1 Heimerdinger auto attacks aren't necessarily the greatest. Doesn't have anywhere comparable to what a traditional ADC would have in auto attack. So that Xerath really just getting up and trading his health as a resource, kind of getting out scot-free, just able to poke. But they're going for an engage here. Morgana bind lands.
Yeah,
in
really
the
nice
turrets.
bind. The turrets, as well as the grenade, gets an easy kill for them in the bot lane. Nice work as they grab that one. The passive proc will come off from the Akshan, so it takes the Yasuo quite low. Flash forward is the Heimer, and they're looking for another one. Goosey does not, or he has flash, did not have time to use it. So the bot lane of the blue side going really, really well here. Able to find 2 kills really early on in laning phase.
Yeah, level 1 Heimer, no threat. Level 2 Heimer, he gets that Sun Nade. That CC chain is all of a sudden 3 seconds at, level 2. And that's very, very lethal if you're standing on top of Morgana W plus Ignite. Very, very well done. Get some kills, put this wave in, and hopefully get a reset, spin that gold. Maybe looking to get a little bit more poke before they do so, but...
Absolutely. I think and it is one of those things we'll see. Drippin will walk into the bot lane here. Doesn't get stunned up, but the bind missed, so it's immediately the shutdown giving it back over to the Diana, flashing forward to find the damage, but the flash away means that Poisonous Panda will survive. Goliath trading pretty aggressively here, but has the fully stacked passive. Ignite going down onto the Darius, and the flash coming forward. Flash auto secures the job for Goliath. Looked close there, thought he might lose it, but winds up getting a solo kill of his own.
The Camille flash just slightly too late to get out of the Darius queue, and that ultimately is what brought him down. If you maybe could have played that slightly different, we're looking at a 1-0 Camille instead of a 1-0 Darius, and this lane is going to be played differently, but now Darius has the upper hand. He's going to be able to crash this wave, and Camille already at a 20 CS deficit is not going to like also losing another wave and a half.
No, especially going for Flash Ignite instead of something like Flash Teleport or even TP Ignite into the Darius, so misses even more than potentially could have if had opted into one of those summoner spells, but instead tries to play aggressive and it does not pan out. But across the rift, we can see the bot lane for the blue side going pretty well here so far. But for the red side, the jungle top, certainly the benefit here in their game. And they are up about 1k gold. A lot of that is the CS, especially in the top lane.
Yeah, so Diana really just trying to get to that level 6. They also, unfortunately, a little bit pressured by this Akshan pick mid. Range versus melee, not much he can do. Just has to catch those minions as he can. Try to stay as equal in CS as possible. Really just looking for that level 6 and then hoping, on Diana's ult cooldown, calling her to mid. She's coming mid, ulting the Akshan. Yasuo ult comes in, free kills, free farming it. Basically off Diana ult cooldown. So Akshan kind of using the pressure that he has now, but we're looking at potentially a cheese on the Diana here in her own jungle.
Yeah, they will find it. They have lots of CC and no flash on this Diana. Means a quick shutdown given over to Nosaraki on the Akshan, and the CC chain is coming down here on the Xerath. Goliath has the Ghost looking for the kill. The 5-stack passive is enough. He gets another one for himself. Another bind lands on the Xerath, and there's the grenade. The heal keeps him alive. Exhaust going down to try to block some of the damage, but I don't think it'll be enough. Legion picks up one in response. The Xerath just escapes with their life as well. Nice work from them.
Maybe if Morgana committed that Ignite, or maybe we're looking at a kill, a different story, but Heimerdinger autos, after his abilities are down, or just do not equal Xayah autos. Definitely with that Black Shield to protect you from any damage coming in. Just sitting there, right-clicked on the champion, watching him fall over.
Unfortunately, the Black Shield not coming down in time to block up the root. Really did not able to block much of anything, unfortunately, for the blue side bot lane, but they were able to pick up a shutdown on their mid laner with a nice invade. That's the benefit of the Akshan. He's got the stealthy walks on in. We see lots of fighting here in the mid lane. Slouchy trying to play aggressive. He knows that his jungler is behind him. There goes the wind wall, the ult, the ignite. It might be enough. We'll see. He goes into stealth. I don't think it'll be quite there. Just level 6 ignite can't get the job done. He lives with like only 13 HP.
It didn't look like that Q hit. Maybe he just flashed the Q, and that makes the difference there in that play, that 1v1 in mid lane, or behind the wave. But here comes Nunu punishing the Yasuo's overgreed.
Yeah, lands the biggest snowball ever, but not a result any more than that. Another bind lands. Lots of great binds coming down from Poisonous Panda, and the CC chain is doing so much work. Sam, once again, 5-stack passive. This is a level 7 Darius with that Noxian Guillotine available. Not going to invest it just yet, just landing some poke damage, but does take this Camille incredibly low. There goes the Black Shield. Another bind comes down, and this could probably just be a dead Xerath. They won't find it yet. The Ignite still being held by Poisonous Panda. They're just forcing the Xerath out of lane constantly, but now they're looking topside. Drippin and Goliath try to find one, and Drippin instantly secures that kill. There's the Featherstorm, and it gets the kill themselves. Legion securing one, uses the Featherstorm to dodge out on the binding, and grabs themselves their second kill of the game. We're fighting now in the mid lane. There goes the wind wall looking for the NATO. Lands it, but will not use that last breath.
And we're back to bot lane.
Yeah, Legion looking to trade one back. We'll get one. We'll certainly fall in response. There goes the Yasuo Diana combo we looked at earlier, and it immediately results in a fast kill on the Akshan. Legion grabs 2 for essentially 3 in that trade. Does get shut down in response, but still looking pretty good for Red Side.
Yeah, a quick series of fights just around the map, scattered a bit, but in the end, Red Side coming out with a pretty respectable 3K gold lead. We'll definitely take that as the team fighting comp. You know, having an early lead definitely is nothing to be upset about when you're definitely going to scale pretty strongly with the Yasuo and a Xayah. And really looking at the enemy side, they have some scaling mage, maybe Akshan with a little bit of scaling, but I think you can be pretty confident in your team fighting comp.
Oh, yeah. I would be very confident if I was them as well. It's looking pretty good here so far, and especially Yasuo getting 2 plates really early. They're looking once again onto the Akshan. He goes invisible, but he will fall regardless. Nuno was snowballing in there when we last looked, but not going to find much else. Just going to catch this wave. The trades, in regards to health bars, look fairly even, but Flash apprehend. Goliath looking for the kill. Drops the ulti, drops that final auto, and secures himself yet another one. Surprise to all of us, Goliath, Sam Thomas can pilot something else.
Yeah, picking up the brother in top lane with that Darius.
Oh my gosh, there's the one-side damage we talked about. Heimerdinger lands the nade and that ult W instantly taking down the Xerath, and Legion is forced to flash. Without access to that Feather Storm, you can see it's just a few seconds off cooldown.
Yeah, using that pressure they have with those Heimer turrets, really just poking them out. Not much they can do, just eating binds in the bot lane, but a fight happening in the top river.
Goliath has no mana, though, so it's hard to find anything else. He did pop the Ghost, but Flash expended from the Nunu means that that's all they'll find. Blue side jungler, Little Rice Fields, excuse me, did secure that Baron for themselves and made it out with their lives, so not something to be too upset about here. In this one, the shutdown allows them to finish one of the first items in the game, that Sunfire. Innate tankiness helps against that Yasuo, Darius, and the Xayah, of course, and gives you some bonus damage as well. Just see what they're able to do here when it comes to pressuring other sides of the map and having this Herald. I really hope they drop that Herald before those plates despawn.
Yeah, I'd love to see that Herald get down. Probably for your bot lane, try to get that Heimer even more ahead, so it's really hard for this fight comp to engage into you. Heimer picking up his Zanyas and having turrets down, and all of a sudden this Yasuo Diana are getting fried in his, in his own little field of destruction. So hopefully we can get that going. And Nunu, building tanky, trying to be that front line for his team that otherwise would not have one if he opted for a more bursty AP build in this game. But once again, fighting in mid. Fighting in bots.
Yeah, Goosey gets ignited, and the Snowball Drift King gets it done. It's a 1-for-1 in the mid lane, however. A solo kill coming out for Slouchy and forced to take a tower shot, so will fall as well. They've swapped it up so that Nosaraki has made his way to the top side, but the Apprehend is going to hurt anyone, and I don't believe he has access to the Heroic Swing. Sam Thomas auto-attacked a minion, so he doesn't get full Darius passive, but still a good trade for the Darius.
The wave up top is just super terrible every time for the blue side. Every time they're just trying to get this wave into the tower, but Darius doing a good job holding those minions on his side of the map.
The Drift King can't find their mark, and now Nosaraki forced to flash. Goliath needs to get behind something. Will not fall just yet. No flash on this Akshan, but Goliath taken quite low, drops a ward. He's got Drippin there to defend. However, there is no Blast Cone, so this will be an interesting one to get out of, unless he just full channels Recall right now. He's just going to channel Recall with his jungler. Little Rice Fields cannot find... Oh, it does stop Goliath! The snowballs find their mark. There goes the smite, the ult coming down. Goliath is still alive for the time being.
The Q heals.
He gets another heal. I don't think he can turn it because it is still Sunfire Nunu, and it will be a shutdown going over to the blue side jungler. You can tell the Diana recall was started just a little bit sooner, so the snowballs didn't hit Drippin. They only hit our main man, Sam. Goliath,
Spectator. You don't have to do him so
Thomas.
dirty.
Featherstorm, as well as the Red of the Arcane, both used from the red side bot lane, but no targets to be found, at least none that are sent to the gray screen.
Nunu snowballing into mid, probably looking for something on this Yasuo. Turns it with the ult. He's getting the Hextech ultimatum, and he's not going to be able to go anywhere and dies on his wave. A nice gank from Nunu.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. The Yasuo played it quite well, getting out, not getting hit by the snowball using that last breath, but unfortunately does get trapped inside of a cage. That makes it hard to continue living on.
Yeah, not much you can do about the Hextech ultimatum into the Nunu ult. You're kind of just, trapped on the explosion. He can charge as long as he wants, and you're dead. Yeah,
exactly. It's very unfortunate you're stuck in a little box, but all across Summoner's Rift, we've got items coming out here now. We talked about the Leandries being an important spike for the Heimer. He has hit that now. He's down a little bit of gold to Legion's Xayah, who does just recently pick up that Gale Force. Nashor's Tooth and Stridebaker finished for the Diana and the Darius, and this Nunu is in a ton of trouble. No real magic resist to deal with this Diana. Now Drippin going to turn their focus onto the Akshan. Dash is not going to cancel the rest of it. Here comes the comeuppance. We'll do a little bit of damage, but it's mostly based on missing health, so won't do too much. Now Legion, Gale forcing forward right away, looking for an angle. No ultimate available. Still trying to find more damage. Laying it down, but doesn't have the movement speed to catch up to the Morgana, and they make it out just fine. Objective bounties will be up for the blue side soon, as the first Drake is claimed at nearly 15 minutes by the red side.
A little bit late on the Dragon, but 4 members going for the Dragon as Goliath stays top. Just shoving into that tier 2 a little bit, putting some minions under. They're losing minions. He's getting tower damage. It's a win-win.
Absolutely. They're winning all across the Rift at the moment. You've seen solo kills across all of the lanes. The bot lane, more even. Still lots of kills, but most of them going either direction, either time. But now with this Leandries picked up for the Heimerdinger, it certainly becomes much more difficult to deal with if you're Legion and Goosey. We'll have to see what they're able to do here. I'm curious, not sure where that was going. I'm curious to know your thoughts, Graham, when it comes to Heimerdinger. This is a Heimerdinger with gold. It's not like the support Heimerdinger we've typically seen in competitive. Do you still think something like well, I think Goosey's just going to fall regardless anyways. Poisonous Panda going to get the kill. It's just a matter of if Legion will die as well. It does have the Featherstorm and both some, so I don't think we'll see much else. It'll instead be a solo kill in the mid lane. Slouchy grabs another one. Diana ult will not land. Double flashes coming out as Nosaraki's still alive, but not for long. Goliath gets the kill. Now back to what I was saying. Is something like a Rylai still a viable option for the Heimerdinger, who might just survive here to be Legion who falls instead as Alucort grabs that kill?
I think it's a viable option you can go here. You also have really a lot of items you can build in this situation. Something like a Shadow Flame is not bad as well to get some more damage. You could also look into, more burn damage never hurts either, so Demonic Embrace.
Sure.
Always feels good. Also, finishing your boots for the move speed isn't a bad idea.
Ooh, nice shot from Goosey. He gets the kill with the second shot of the ult. Go ahead.
Yeah, just as you can see, he's completing those boots, getting that build. We should probably at least be able to make predictions off of what he builds next, but he might not have enough gold.
Yeah, it'll be close
so fight starts
sure.
on the top side.
Goliath in some trouble here. Needs to try and heal up, but doesn't have Q available. He will go down to Candy Cardiology. They're looking for more now. Slicey tries to turn things around and make it at least a 1-for-2, but cannot find it. Nosaraki gets the kill. Now Poisonous Panda looking for the kill back onto the Xerath. Should certainly get it with the W. The W proc is enough. It's a killing spree for the Morgana. Xayah trying to chase him down, but no cleanse and no ult means that the bind allows Poisonous Panda to just walk on free. And blue side will not only get a Herald, but it is a Objective Bounty Herald. So that's lots of gold going into their pocket once they're able to secure this one. Just punishing Goliath, Drippin, and Slouchy for overstaying a bit in the top side of the map.
I'm curious to why Heimer's catching that mid-wave. Kind of dropping a mid-wave as they want to fight. Morgana trying to solo defend the turret, but it does not look good as she falls to the Xayah QE.
Unfortunate. Maybe just staying a little too long. Not ideal situation, but things are evened out a little bit here. Still a decent lead for red side as Drippin continues to look to the top side of the Rift. They're not going to find anything just yet. Look at CC, however, so Drippin potentially in trouble. Knockup comes down. And there's the Diana Yasuo combo that we talked about. Comeuppance will be blocked by the wind wall, and Slouchy has some minions to dash through. Nice! Apprehend from Goliath means that he gets 2 for himself. 6 kills now on this Darius, and nearly Flame Horizoning at 18 minutes.
Yeah, that is a
Darius.
very strong top jungle. Very dangerous to mess with them. Even as you saw, they brought more members, but Xayah looking for a fight here on the bottom side.
Doing a lot of damage.
Flash out.
Unfortunate crits, considering only 15% means Poisonous Panda is forced to use that flash. Legion makes it out safely. Did have the Feather Storm, but opts to play it a little bit safer here for potentially more use later on. Now Goliath will just keep on hitting as the Apprehend goes wide, but he has been surrounded, and I don't know that he can live through this one. It's a shutdown.
Hey, buddy, you don't have phase rush on that champion. You got to get out a little bit earlier than that.
You got to get out of dodge. Goliath will fall. They are committing lots of members and lots of resources to kill Goliath, also known as Sam, two first names Thomas, but he will fall down in the mid lane. Things are still looking good for his squad, though, up over 8,000 gold at only 19 minutes.
Yeah, very, very commanding gold lead. We're starting to see second items come through for a lot of their strong members of the roster, and we'd really like to see them, use this lead, the team fight comp, force them out, team fight for something, use that lead somewhere. They're playing pretty split right now, which they're still winning, which is fine, but I'd love to see, a nice 5v5 team fight stop.
Feather Storm comes down, does a decent amount of damage. Diana trying to turn things around, but cannot find it yet. Gets a nice kill back in the shield, along with the Tramp, keeping him alive. It's another one. 2 kills now, but the Xayah is rooted up. Legion trying to sustain, but cannot. Candy Cardiology going to pick up that one. Goosey doing as much poke damage as he can, and Goliath has arrived to the scene. He's just waiting on that ghost cooldown, but can't find it. Goliath blocks some of the damage, but it'll be an instant revive of 2 members of the blue side as Akshan gets some kill assist credit on the Diana. So suddenly Slouchy is no longer able to push. Goliath going to try and chase down this Akshan, looking for more. Slouchy going in for the 1 versus 2, but the NATO will just miss. Trying to sustain. Goliath meanwhile wins out on his 1v1. Slouchy's still alive for just a moment. Alicourt will finally claim that kill near the top side of the map.
Yeah, Red Side getting a little aggro here 2 times now. Just really pushed up for no reason with other teammates, just turning over some gold. They want to keep the game interesting. Gotta int a little bit of gold over, so it stays close. But Goliath is strong, and I think Poisonous Panda just found that out firsthand if they didn't already know it from the scoreboard.
Yeah, Apprehend's going to land now on the new chain CC'd. Goliath going to keep looking for more onto the Heimerdinger. He's got fully stacked passive. He will get trapped in the Hextech Ultimatum, but it's a flash out, but that won't be enough. Candy Cardiology will fall as well. Goliath is just too much of a menace on this Darius.
So strong after that level 1 play that went so terribly for Candy Cardiology, and now we're looking at Darius running this game.
Yeah, he is up nearly 5,000 gold on his lane opponent. You can see Flame Horizoning at this point, well, 99, but we might as well call it a Flame Horizon. There goes the Feather Storm. Does a decent amount of damage to the Akshan, but so much coming out from Nazaraki means that it'll be a revive on the Camille and another kill for this Akshan. Looking a lot better than the LEC Akshans.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm not a huge fan of LEC Akshan, if I'm going to be honest. I think a lot of their drafts are being kind of trolled by the champion. Maybe there's something happening in scrims that we're not seeing, but I would have to say that this Akshan looks very similar to LEC's Akshan in being 3-5-3 and on the losing team.
That sounds about right. We can see the Nunu trying to get something done. We'll have a fully channeled ult that does a decent chunk of damage and actually manages to make it out okay as well. This is 2 items on the Nunu, so Sunfire and Radiant means lots of healing coming out. And doing a decent amount of damage, fairly innate tankiness as well. Does need some magic resist to try and defend. But there goes instantly the ult from the Yasuo off that Apprehend. Means they get 1. They're going to continue chasing on to the Diana. Drippin going to pick up the kill. It's another 2 members falling, and Baron's only been alive for 2.5 minutes, and it looks like it will go in favor of the red side. Legion's going to try to hold this tier 1, and he should be able to quite easily, but I don't think the Baron can sustain through the damage of Goliath Sam Thomas.
With all of their members down, all the Akshan can do is look for these cheesy kills on the Xayah.
Oh, the Featherstorm just misses. It'll just be a quick kill. So they trade Baron for a kill onto Legion. Could potentially chase here if you're the red side, but
those waves a bit better, maybe actually help their Zaya out, take her around, you know, protect the AD carry maybe just a little bit from that Akshan. Try to get that 5v5, and Morgana root stopping that back. Are they going to look for it, or are they just going to ignore her a little bit?
they can certainly try. They have 3 members. Drippin going in. We'll get 1 kill right away going and killing spree. Does have Flash as well. Flash is out. So in a 1 versus 3, Drippin goes 1-4-0 and is just going to ego recall in front of them now. Doesn't tank too much damage from the comeuppance, and now can just sustain with some honey fruit as well. Needs to get the recall off.
Yeah.
I think might be close to full.
A little bit of a, you know, fun time poking around with the enemies, but despite the slowdown of the tempo, the rest of our team members still able to grab that bot turret as they kind of just look to siege and tear down what's left of blue team's base.
Yeah, they're just so strong. 13k gold lead, mostly on the backs of this top jungle for the red side. Goliath and Drippin just so far ahead of their lane opponents, and the mid lane also a similar story, especially when it comes to that farm, and got quite a few solo kills in the laning phase, looking pretty comfortable on this Yasuo. Goliath does just hit level 16, means full resets at any time for this Darius, and level 16 is being narrowly approached by Drippin and Slouchy as well. You can see no one on the opposite side even close to that number. Drippin nearly one-shots Alucort right away. Gale Force will get the job done. Featherstorm makes Legion go untargetable, but they won't find much else. Goliath now taking quite a bit of damage here and won't heal from that Q, but does force the flash out of Candy Cardiology. This is now a 2-item Camille, so while still very far behind, is at least a little more comparable into the Darius.
Yeah, comparable, but definitely not a substitute for the Darius. No. Really just hoping to get that Hextech ultimatum down on Darius or somebody else with the bounty, hoping that they can maybe blow them up with the following additional CC, get some of these bounties, just like we're trying to do now, flashing on the Xerath and getting the kill, but he might just be dead himself.
Yeah, he's dead. 1 shot. Drippin's on a rampage with that kill. I mean, once Nosaraki was forced to flash, it's too difficult to find anything else. Red side going to continue playing for these neutral objectives. Their jungler's not in the pit, and now is chained up by the Morgana, forced to sit in the absolute zero as well, taking a lot of damage and killed by the smite. Slouchy potentially in trouble too, but is okay. There goes the last breath, turned back onto Hammerdigger, but he's got the stopwatch to keep himself alive, at least for just a moment. Nice stun. Secures that he will survive, but Sam Thomas goes godlike in a fight near the bot lane.
Run, Nunu, run.
He's going to try to outrun a Nunu, and it's going to be difficult for sure. The slows from the snowball fight makes it awfully hard. Phase Rush also helping the Nunu escape for just a moment. Sam does not have Ghost, but he does have Dead Man's Plate, so he's rapidly approaching the upper hand. Will land. Now they're going to try to turn this one, but however, Goliath goes legendary. He gets one. He's got fully stacked passive. He's looking for more damage. He also wants to donate a shutdown, so he gives that one over as Nazaraki takes him down. It will be a double kill for Legion, however. We did just lose many members. Oh, is it 10:30?
I seem to
10:41.
I seem to know why Goliath may have right-clicked his way under
You're
tower.
right, actually.
I was a little questionable about that, but it seems that the ping is struck again, and
rats.
got some deaths laying down, taking a nap under the blue tier 3 down there.
It's A-okay. He got a couple kills and part, but does fall down to the kill, unfortunately. But now He's a 4-item Darius. He's very strong. Slouchy will get exhausted. Unfortunately, the tornado landed, but the knockup did not, with the help of the Black Shield. So still working on just pretty much just wrapping this game up. Red side has such a dominant lead here in this one. It's hard to imagine with the way these fights have gone, even in numbers advantage fights for blue side, that they can significantly come back into this one in a reasonable time.
Yeah, I think red side knows they have a lead. They're just taking it slow. They don't feel any pressure to rush or trying to make any plays, so they're kind of just doing things as they feel like it. I wish they would kind of connect as 5 and, you know, send the blue team packing, but it looks like a fight breaking out in mid.
They're committing everything onto the Nunu, which is certainly an interesting decision, but they're not going to find any success, at least in terms of kills. Legion is very, very low, and Nazaraki is behind. The Featherstorm going to keep him alive for now. Slouchy tries to go for one, but will not find it. Legion won't take the full damage from the comeuppance, but the Camille is coming in. Drippin will pick up the mid laner of blue side, looking for more here. Goliath continuing to go on his adventure, pushing here in the bot lane. Overall, it's a 1-for-1 as Goosey falls, but as does the Akshan on blue side. But now, Goliath might be the next to drop. It depends. He has no summoner spells, needs to try and sustain out of this. The Sterix Gauge keeping him alive for so long. Such a big shield coming out of that 4th item on this. Darius means he's just free to walk on out.
Doesn't need a phase rush for that one. Just doesn't take damage with this build. Walks his way on out. His teammates just duoing the Baron really quick. The lead is very obvious at this point. Hopefully with this Baron Nashor in a reset and, you know, buy some stopwatches, buy some potions, and let's go knock down their Nexus, I think is the call from red side. I think they're all on the same page now as they're kind of marching down mid lane together like a line of ants.
Yeah, I would imagine so. It is 4 items on Diana, one of them being a death cap, has the stopwatch. 3 items on Yasuo with the Infinity Edge, 4-item Darius. I mean, they're just so strong. You can for sure just meatball if you want. You know you want the engage from your Yasuo and your Diana. Diana is instead going to push this bot wave out, so it'll be a 4-1, at least for the time being, after securing this Baron. It's so difficult for blue side to really find or do anything. They can't walk into their own jungle. They really can't leave their own base.
Then opting to slow the game down a little bit with Firebringer Blue and then walking bot lane. Maybe not quite on the same page as the rest of the team, who's kind of gunning for that mid inhibitor, but pushing 2 waves in. They're somewhat synced, maybe looking to make a play, but a kill happens on the other side of the map.
Yeah, Legion's already picked up the top laner on the blue side of the map, and the Morgana will fall as well. Poisonous Panda goes down. Drippin will take the kill. Goliath trying to grab his 15th of the game, but will not quite be able to. Featherstorm comes down. Gale Force, nice E! Really well played by Legion. He does fall in response, unfortunately, but I don't think it'll wind up mattering, as the only thing left in their way is, well, this Heimerdinger, who was in their way for a moment. Goliath does take quite a few damage in tower shots, but now it's just the 2 Nexus turrets. And finally, the Nexus took a little bit longer than I think it probably needed to, considering they're going to win with a 17,000 gold lead.
Yeah.
But they do come out with the win regardless. Red side picks up their win. Goliath, Sam Thomas, with a nice performance, as well as Drippin on the Diana, looking very, very clean on Summoner's Rift. Well, Graham, it has been a long day of League of Legends.
It's been a very long day.
A fun day of League of Legends. I've had a good time. I hope we've had a good time, too.
I had a good time as well. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. You're always welcome here on the Mizzou Esports Twitch stream. That is all for us here of day 1 of the Gamer Gauntlet. We've got more tomorrow, starting, I believe, at 6 p.m. Don't quote me on this. I believe it is 6 p.m. in Overwatch here, once again, on this Twitch channel. Check it out either in the facility if you're able to come by and you're on campus, or, of course, here on the Twitch stream. But that is all from us here tonight. I have been Palladino, your caster for the evening. Thank you all so much for joining. Have a good rest of your night, and we'll catch you guys later.